Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Sak here, and today we're going to be streaming some more Top Survivor rank with our favorite survivor, Archer. Very difficult survivor to use, so we're going to be continuing to play with Archer. And remember, as we increase on the leaderboard, just like I always say, we're going to be constantly reducing our skill level. I mean, that's why the S badges always suck at the game. I mean, simple as that, guys. We all know it. We all love it. We all love to see that first Enchantress in our rank match because we already know we're going to lose. And the Hunter is very excited to match with that first Enchantress. You believe me. Alright, guys. Who is here? We got Oka. Joy is second. Yoons is third. Welcome, guys. Joseph. Hello. Welcome, Joseph. Psyche never answered my Archer question in his server. Somebody demote him. I didn't see. It must have been today. Did you ask it today or another time? And I just never read it. Reaching the top 900 Archer would make you more pro play since the higher you are in the top you become worse. Right. Exactly. We would become better at Archer if I were to become 900th Archer. Can we get a missed shots counter? You guys can keep a missed shots counter in your head. I'm not going to keep counting the missed shots. There's going to be a lot of those. Too many to keep track of. Remember, as we go up, we're going, oh, okay, looks like we're not playing Archer today. At least for this match, Archer is banned, so we're not going to be playing Archer. I mean, it's been a couple days since I've played Archer in rank. I don't know, do people ban her more often now? Okay, for now, I'm going to try to pick a rescuer. Let's see what rescuer I want to go. We got Mercenary, Forward, First Officer Wildling, and of course we got Gravekeeper, my favorite. My beloved Gravekeeper. Very underrated. Keeps getting buffed because the devs think he sucks. Probably one of the most underrated survivors in this game. Psyche, go batter since he also shoots. We're not going to go batter. How come you don't use the Vigor FOV on iPad? I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm just not used to it mostly. You do have a point that it would be easier to look on the left and right without turning your screen as much. But I'm already used to turning my screen, you know, a little bit extra to make up for that. You do also lose something else though when you have bigger FOV. When you use bigger FOV on the sides, you lose some FOV from the top and bottom. That's the advantage of iPad, so you can see more at the top and bottom, which to be honest is not really that big of an advantage, but I just like the look of it mostly. I just hate being blind on the top or bottom. Looks like it's Opera Singer. Okay. So that does explain the Archer ban. I have seen this one Opera Singer that bans Archer. So I should make like a note of that. If we see Archer ban, it's probably a dead giveaway for Opera Singer. But I should have looked more at her other bans because there are also people. Okay, the screen is a little bit off-centered. Ooh. Gotta fix that real quick. It just does this. It just decides to go off-center. Yeah, you guys can't even see Psychologist right now. Okay. Not even my ability? Nothing. You guys literally can't see anything. Oh man, this guy hasn't taken a single hit so far, so he's doing a really good Kai, which is really hard against Opera Singer. Especially on this map in particular. Okay, I wish we were in my regular room so I could get like a reference. Okay, I think like that should be fine. This needs to be a little bit bigger. I don't know why it does this, man. Why does it do this? For just no reason. Okay. That'll do for now. I'll fix it a little bit better later. But so far, Magician, I mean, it is Magician, which is a very good survivor against Opera Singer. But that's either his second or his third pallet stun. Maybe even more. If that was his, it's not his third pallet stun. Because if it was his third pallet stun. Oh, she's got abnormal. Too bad we couldn't cancel it. If you cancel abnormal, it still doesn't put it on cooldown though. So we're just gonna stay on the pig because we're anyway gonna rescue. So it doesn't really matter that we got on the pig early because we're anyway rescuing. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that he died on the Cypher because it means abnormal gets good value now. Abnormal is a very risky trait to carry normally because there's no guarantee someone will actually die on your Cypher. Or someone will die on a Cypher. Yeah, I'm gonna rescue them. These people are so impatient, man. These people. They don't know the first thing about rescuing. Alright, let's go ahead. Oh, we can't go back to the cipher yet. It's a little bit dangerous. We gotta go far enough away to the point where she doesn't want to go after us anymore, else she's gonna lose her target. So this is still, I think this is still okay. Oh no, okay, this is not actually gonna be enough decode. Combined with us decoding 11% slower, so we're decoding 36% slower speed. This is actually not gonna be enough. And who is that right there? I was really hoping whoever is almost done was the one closer to chair. We really can't rescue. We could have gotten healed, I guess. We could have gotten healed, I guess? Yeah. It would have been a good idea to get healed, maybe. Anyway. Just gonna keep decoding the cipher. Because if you think about it, Lawyer will take over my cipher and make up for the fact no one is decoding it. Since he's anyways was on that side of the map. Hopefully she at least makes the rescue. She does make the rescue, but we don't have enough decode anyway. Even if I went to rescue, I would also need to body block. It might be a little bit more efficient decode-wise for me to go rescue and to just have Lawyer take over my cipher while Psychologist heals me. That might be a little bit more decode efficient, but I would still need to heal. I would still need a body block for the Magician, otherwise we will not have these ciphers primed. So abnormal really didn't matter, because anyway were not able to finish that cipher. I guess that cipher would have popped if she didn't need to rescue, but then this one would have been behind. You know what, maybe I guess the abnormal did make a difference, because normally she would pop hers, she would heal me, Lawyer would take over my cipher. Like, at that point it would be a no-brainer for me to get healed by Psychologist and for me to go rescue. And then she would pop mine, and if mine was more progress than Lawyer could just pop it, I would just let Lawyer take it over. But with mine being so far behind, I basically may as well just stay on it at that point. Because we need to have constant decode on the one that's more behind at that point. Because it doesn't matter how fast we pop that fourth cipher machine, it only matters how fast we pop the fifth one. So if the fifth one is really far behind than the fourth one, we should prioritize the fifth one more. Unless it's getting pressured a lot, you know, in that case it's a different story. So we are just gonna stall here. Even if she switches positions here, it's not a big deal. Because we have multiple hits on this pig. And she might be able to catch up here. Pretty sure she should be able to catch up here. But is it even going to be enough? It is going to be enough for her. Okay, well, we still have to wait. How far can we wait, though? We can't wait for much longer. We have to body block at this point. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to try to heal him. I don't know if this is going to be enough. This is not looking good. Maybe I should have rescued him before half. I thought we would have a little bit better decode than that. I thought I would be primed closer than that, so it doesn't really matter. It looks like it does matter. If I went to rescue before half, I could just take over the cipher and then she could rescue next. Man, this game was a little bit... I think 2 times in a row this game, we were this close to having the ciphers done, but we just weren't close enough. First time when the Magician died, and then another time now when the Lawyer died. Both times really was a struggle. Oh, we're dead now. Very tough pal to use at that point against Opera Singer. We're just gonna secure one person out here because I'm not sure if Dungeon was actually behind 10. We didn't actually check. I didn't actually turn around to check. Let's see. She might die here, but as long as she walked far enough away, she is gonna be forced to the hunters. Okay, so the hunters hard committing because that was her time limit to either go after her or go after me with the teleport back. So she's gonna hard commit on the Psychologist, which I think is actually the right choice for her because we don't have our pig, and I don't think we can actually get this gate open in time. So I think that was the 4K decision there from a hunter. Because, yeah, we're not going to be able to open this gate. Against Opera Singer. Man, Opera Singer is such a stupid hunter. Yeah, let's just give a hunter just maximum movement speed for literally no reason. We're not even going to be able to... We actually might survive 1 hit here, but not more than 2. Alright. Yeah, guys, let's just make a hunter with 0 cooldown, infinite speed. I mean, guys, there's a way to balance this hunter. You can make it so that her speed is faster, but make it so that she can only chain up to like 3 dashes in a row, but have them be very high speed dashes. But you can only dash up to 3 times in a row. After that, you're on a cooldown. Not this BS where you have 45% speed constantly every single time you jump into a shadow. I would make it 100% increased speed for 2 or 3 times in a row. Maybe 2 times in a row for 0 presence, 3 times in a row for full presence. You know, there's a way to balance this. Instead, they just leave this in the game as just infinite 45% increased speed, which is... I don't think that's how you balance this game. The whole idea of the game is so that, you know, the hunters are supposed to be always a little bit advanced, a little bit ahead with their abilities if they use it properly. It's not like, okay, if you don't have 10 pallets in a row that the hunter has to break, you just die. Or you just need to go for a lucky pallet stun every single time. I'm actually surprised that, you know, we had such a good Magician Kai, but we actually fell behind 2 times in a row on decode there. First on my cipher, which is understandable because she abnormal, but why are we so behind on like the why are we behind on the foot cipher? I know she had to decode it. Oh, she had a rescue, I mean. But even before the rescue. I don't really understand. Okay, this hunter didn't even ban a single survivor. No survivor banned from this hunter. Dumb hunter. Like, basically, if we're always going to be going against optimal hunters who are always playing the best hunter possible, we would realistically, at the highest level of the game, realistically, we would never see another hunter besides Opera Singer. And obviously, it's really nice. It's really nice that we don't see just Opera Singer. But if I'm being honest here, if I was a top hunter, I would only play Opera Singer. She is very good on every map. I know people say she's got bad maps, but that's with quotation marks, because they're just comparing it to other maps. In reality, she's still a busted hunter on every single map. It's just she's even more busted on other maps. And so realistically, there would be no reason to play anything except Opera Singer, and then maybe the occasional Wax Artist on a really good Wax Artist map like perhaps like Ever Sleeping or Chinatown, something with not a lot of windows or tall walls to really block line of sight. That would be the key. I didn't actually see where the hunter spawned. What was it? Was it right in the middle? It was probably right in the middle. But then in this case, why is this cipher not blocked? It must be because that. Okay, so this cipher doesn't always get blocked if hunter spawns down there. So like this game, we see an Anne. Okay. And at most, she's going to get probably like a tie, you know. As long as we're not doing like really bad, as long as people do an average kite. Hold up, guys. We're going to get 10 notifications at the same time from Discord. That for some reason we're completely delayed and are all going to deliver at the same time. You think Darkwood seems tough? It depends how many random obstacles there are on the ground. If there's not a lot of trees or random rocks, then it could be tough. But really, it's just a matter of knowing, you know, knowing where the obstacles are around each wall, and you can kind of memorize a route from one place to every direction possible that you would need to go. So, like in this case, like Anne, you know, Anne took a while to get her first kill there. I don't know if Puppeteer is going to rescue her. I know he has Tide Turner, but has he said a single word? Has he said a single word? Has he even pinged a cipher this game? I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to go. And in this case, the smaller harpy doesn't make that much of a difference, especially because we can see where the hunter is with the chair. If she just left her target, this would be extremely good for us. Let's see what she does here. She's going to immediately use the cats. Perfect. Maybe we can actually save his life here. No, we can't save his life. Oh, we actually can. Why does she pick up? You gotta be so careful, because when you get picked up, it actually changes the way the animation happens, and the heartbeat changes its spot as they're picking up. So you gotta be really careful. I'm expecting like a jump here. No jump. Okay, a regular shot will do because she's gonna get stunned here no matter what, and we gotta go. Remember, if she stands still, the 50, it takes 2.5 seconds to remove the 50, so it doesn't really matter if you shoot them in the heart or shoot them on the sides. Either way, they're going to be standing still for 2.5 seconds, which is the clear advantage to archers, that no matter what you do, really, you are stalling them for 2.5 seconds. If they build it up and then decide to stand still, right before they get stunned, they're actually making themselves stunned for longer. Which is kind of funny. Like, if you go all the way up to 90 and then stand still, you have to stand still for like 3.5 seconds, which is longer than the actual stun at that point. Especially if you have anti-stun resistance, it's going to be even shorter than 2.5. So really, I just have an extra Cypher here just in case, but, you know, really we don't need it. This Cypher is in case, like, the Hunter bails on the prisoner and decides to do a YOLO teleport and hope that no one ever starts another Cypher machine. Or it takes a long time to start the Cypher machine. So look at that. Look at that Archer support. Obviously, rescuing the prisoner immediately from the pickup will obviously save the game. But even the second one, we didn't get to really see it, but even the second one, where the Hunter, you know, got slowed down in the middle of chase, I bet you her cats probably came up right as her stun was about to happen. This puppeteer is really far away from the chair. I almost feel like he's going to need help on this rescue, because if you go late against Anne, you are not going to make this rescue. You pretty much need 2 people here. Look, he's going to get stunned right in front of the chair. We need 1 person to get rid of the cat stun. He is taking the least optimal route possible to this chair. You're just going to have to pop at this point. No. Okay. I don't know why he's still going for it. This puppeteer is taking the least optimal route to the chair they could possibly think of, and is not even preparing for it on top of that. That's kind of funny that didn't connect. Okay. I need to access this pallet in a way that enters factory, not leaves factory. That's why I'm not going towards it, I'm going around it. Let's see. We definitely need a pallet boost here. Yes! We actually might get a dungeon escape now. Please, no, it's not enough. She was at 96. Okay, so that's good to know. I actually should have shot there in that case. I was really hoping with the jump it would be enough to stun. I don't think we would have had dungeon. Is dungeon there? Is dungeon even there? Ooh, dungeon was there. We actually would have made it. Oh, that's sad. Oh well. You know, even if I shot that second bullet, she would be jumping on me. She would get stunned, and then I would get stunned. It would be a stalemate. I would basically need her to not have warp at that point. I don't know if there was any way to escape that situation, because even if I use my stun to stun her, both our stuns last 2.5 seconds. My cat stun lasts 2.5. Her crossbow lasts 2.5. So I would die right after she's finished getting stunned and I'm finished getting stunned. So that's really sad. Realistically, we should have won that game. I don't know why Puppeteer is prepping to go to gate. I guess he was just assuming that she would pop, even though the Cypher was not ready when he went down. And I don't know, how long do you have to realize? How long do you have to take to realize that we're not popping that Cypher? That's what I don't understand. Like, was he all the way at gate? I just don't get it. I feel like he should have had that rescue. Maybe he was all the way ready, sitting at gate, which is bold, by the way. That is really bold. Against a hunter like Anne, you're assuming your prisoner is gonna... Your prisoner's already doing an amazing rebound, and he's over here. If he was standing at the gate, he's banking on this prisoner doing an even longer kite than he already has. What's with the logic with that? He was... Realistically, he should have been dead a while ago. But he's been rebounding really well this whole time. This might be an opera singer. So we're not going to be able to play Archer again, because they just banned Archer. But so far, Archer is really solid. She's been really good. She can save from balloons pretty reliably, too, because if you just shoot before the pickup fully happens, you free the survivor without that annoying escape animation. That escape animation will always last longer than the hunter's actual stun. That's why it's so important that you shoot before the survivor gets fully picked up, because then you skip that animation and then survivor can immediately start running while the hunter's still stunned, which is why we're shooting the shot early, and why I'm not like waiting for them to get closer to chair, because oh shoot, this is a really bad map to play thief on. Because by shooting before the hunter picks up fully, we make it so that I'm not spawning Shack. I'm never spawning Shack. Shack is such a bad place to spawn. I'm gonna spawn here at this point, but I just find Shack is such a bad place to spawn. But let me finish the other thought first. On Leo's memory, Shack feels like such a bad place to spawn. But anyway, what was I talking about? What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, shooting, stunning before the hunter fully picks up. This is the same for forward. This is exactly the same way wilding works. A lot of people think that with wilding you need a wall to rescue people. That is not true. You actually make it worse when you do that. The reason you get rescued with wilding is because he's pushing while you're getting picked up. Once you're fully picked up, nothing will save you at that point. Pushing into wall will not save you. Only if he pushes while the hunter's picking up. And at that point, if it's not dependent on a wall, then at that point, you just want to die out in the open so that he pushes the hunter as far away as possible. That's why Wildling's able to rescue people, because he's pushing the hunter, or giving them a control effect, would be the best way to put it. This is what the game calls it. Stunning, pushing. Forward can technically also push. That's why you don't need to stun as forward. You only need to stun as forward if they already fully picked up the survivor. At that point, a push will not save a survivor. Only a stun will at that point. Who is the hunter? It's a Night Watch. So it looks like not every hunter who bans Archer is going to be playing Opera Singer. It's just she is probably the strongest hunter you can pick. Out of all the 4 hunters that are top tier right now, we cannot ban all 4. We can only ban 3. And so Opera Singer is realistically going to be the best choice on almost every single map, especially Leo's memory, with all this random tree garbage, these wagons here, these barrels. What even are these things? These coils, these blue coils. A lot of garbage for her to dash on and just go anywhere, anytime she wants. It doesn't even take any planning or skillfully thinking about what route, where are you going to need to dash. There's literally, you can literally go anywhere as unoptimally as you want. Obviously in tournaments, you should still memorize what is the fastest way to go from like Shack to God Corner, for example. If you need to go from Shack to God Corner because there's a Cypher shaking there, you need to memorize the optimal straight line, as straight of a line as possible, using these objects to get there. But you're not going to be able to do it as efficiently if you didn't already memorize it. So it does make a difference to still know the routes. But especially on maps where there's not a lot of obstacles, where it takes some thinking, you should definitely plan out ahead of time where you want to go. So it looks like the Ford already took a hit. That's another really nice advantage about Archer, is that you don't need to get close to still save your teammates. And if you think about it, guys, forward on average is landing 2 to 2.5 second stuns. Except he gets injured by excitement, if the hunter's excitement. And also, him being so close makes it so that it's easier to get hit before you reach a powder window. Which is another huge downside. Forward also has negative 25% decode. I know he vaults faster, but that really doesn't do anything in the grand scheme of things. Because that's not really what saves kites most of the times. It means that you spend less time per action, where the hunter is now having to spend more of their time. Not that it matters what survivor it is, they always spend the same amount of time on a window or pallet. It's just that, you know, when you compare it to the survivor spending way less time interacting with pallets or windows. Okay, so now we have another person harassing. Prospector, similar issue, needs to get really close. He's a little bit better at it because he works out of range, and he gets full regular speed decode. But at this point now, he's pretty much forcing me to rescue. Because if I don't rescue, Prospector's just going to get picked up for free. He's going to see 2 Cyphers shaking at the very least, and then pick him up. And you just can't have... You just can't have people harassing like this. This is game losing. When you harass this much. We're actually not going to make that. That's so sad. We didn't even make the illusion. Wow. We have no real rescue ability, the thing. Even if I use the illusion for the speed up, I don't think we would make it. So pretty much what's happening now is that if I didn't rescue, Prospector is going to get picked up. Me rescuing now, though, means that I get picked up, because I don't have really good rescue abilities. So someone pressure it, you know, it's better to try at this point. Looks like, oh, I was really hoping the hunter kept disconnecting there. That's really unfortunate. In a real tournament situation, in an optimal situation, not even tournaments, because rank, you should be playing like a tournament. There's no difference here. Only difference is what's banned. That's really the only difference. But Realistically, we would not do that second rescue. I was forced to do the second rescue by the Prosecutor getting knocked down, because if I don't try, at least, then Prosecutor is going to get picked up, and now I'm in the exact same situation of having to rescue Prospector from a really bad chair. I would say this chair is probably worse than the factory one. It's probably easier to get caught out. Man, this is a really bad situation. So this is like automatically lost. When your harasser, who's also the rescuer, takes injury, now someone else needs to rescue, and then the harasser overcommits, not only takes half damage, but also goes down. Means that now your people who are supposed to be decoding need to go rescue. This is how a game falls apart. When people over-harass, like, I have 3 illusions, guys. I didn't even get a fair chance to kite this game. Okay, what is that fly? What is the point of that flywheel? You're still gonna get hit here. Okay, never mind. Hunter's just bad. Hunter is literally just bad. Like, you could have saved that flywheel for there. Like, you're anyway taking a hit on average. Yeah, we're so dead. I was hoping that maybe if we stand still, he'll try to look for footprints when really there's no footprints anywhere, but it didn't work out. We don't really have anything at this point. Even if we made that pallet, he just jumps over and we die at that pallet. I'm going to say we lost this game mostly to bad randoms. And this prisoner actually did a pretty decent kite for a prisoner. Obviously, we're not going to win with this kite. Prisoner is horrible survivor. Do not be playing prisoner because you are not going to get winning kites as prisoner. And then the times you don't get chased as prisoner, your decoder is not good enough to validate playing a decoder like prisoner who is that risky and you're not even getting a good deal out of it. You're getting 10% faster decode. A lot of people are also sending away their energy, so they're not even gaining faster decode. They're just a regular survivor who's sending energy to other ciphers. Sometimes to ciphers we don't even need, and that's even worse when you got those kinds of low game sense survivors. But we really should not be losing that game like that. That was like a clear loss from all the harassment and not even doing a good job at harassing. They should have just let that survivor go at that point. Psyche, if all my matches turn to losses, do I stop playing or wait a few minutes to reset my matchmaking? That has nothing to do with it. You know, you're going to have bad days, and waiting around doesn't do anything to change that. The only thing it changes is your mindset. Maybe you're one of those people where taking a break helps your mindset. For me, a few minute break would not do anything for my mindset. I would need like a whole day of just not playing at any 5 at that point if it was my bad. If it was me messing up. Waiting around has nothing to do with matchmaking. If you keep getting the same survivor or the same hunter, maybe your survivors are not good enough to deal with that skill level of hunter. Maybe the average random cannot deal with that kind of hunter. That's why you see some hunters with 98% win rates, because the average NAU survivor cannot win against that hunter. They're just too good at the game against the competition. We don't have good enough competition against the hunter to compete with their skill level. The average survivor is not going to be able to do good enough, whether that be kiting, rescuing, game sense, anything, all of the above, really. There's really nothing you can do at that point, besides waiting for them to match away. But if you are getting different hunters, you are getting different survivors, and it's not making a difference, you're just losing match after match, waiting around doesn't do anything. Because the average survivor just sucks. As simple as that. So there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Archer's kind of in an encounter. I mean, kind of. When you jump, you increase the the timer significantly more. Okay, where did the hunter spawn? Uh-oh. I don't know where the hunter spawned. Okay, they didn't spawn here. They might have spawned... Ooh, I was about to say, was that like an opera singer ground? No, that was not. Who is that? Is that a clerk? No, that is a clerk. Immediate hit by our rescue. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Our rescue is immediately taking a first hit of all people? Okay. I don't know, man. You got a heartbeat. You could have been running. We have to heal him up at this point. I mean, this is how games fall apart. Like, we don't even have people decoding now. I'm not decoding. When I heal this first officer, he's not going to be decoding. And if mechanic is... Of course we have a mechanic, so mechanic's chances of doing a good kite to make up for this are slim to none. why are people playing Mechanic? I don't understand. Like, it's probably because they see her in tournaments, and they have no idea why people are playing Mechanic. Guys, Mechanic is a throwaway pick. Mechanic is a throwaway pick because she's so bad against the average hunter. She's just good against like stuff like Goatman, where it takes a whole cage, which is very expensive to take out the bot. He's very good against Shadow, where Shadow needs to spend a lot of time and a lot of scares to even knock down that robot, assuming the robot is paying attention and making sure that it's not just standing there. Very good against something like Hula Blue, because Hula Blue, as long as the robot is paying attention, takes quite a few hits, quite a few abilities to actually go down. Because he cannot one-shot. Mechanic is good against the top-tier hunters. But we are banning all of them. We are banning Shadow. We are banning Goatman. We are banning Hula Blue. So why are people going Mechanic? No one will know. Because they don't understand. I'll tell you why. I can just tell you why right away. Because they don't understand that the tournament people, the tournament players who are playing in tournaments are playing at a level where A, they are going to be going against those OP hunters, so Mechanic has purpose, and B, whatever characters they pick will get permabanned for the rest of those rounds. Meaning that they want to pick characters that are good in the moment, but will be bad in the future. And that's the goal. To just pick those types of survivors. I am not touching this chair. I'm not risking a terror shock. Okay, that's too bad. It is better to fail the rescue and keep kiting than to just get terror shock on the spot. This man just gave himself an owl. I don't know if this is supposed to be a sign of giving up. He's also flywheeling now. You know what? That's fine with me because that's going to be less points that he's going to be getting now. Okay. So they're giving up, which is good for me because I am going to try to get the highest points so I lose -4. Oh, God. I need to shoot her. No, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, that was too close. I should have shot her while she was making the patroller, and then it would have canceled the patroller. But then we also would have no way to rescue him. Oh, I don't know if she did that on purpose. I guess she might have done that on purpose. Okay. Well, now that the trait is out, of course I'm getting the trait out, by the way. Now that the trait is actually out, now I can actually try to do something. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be almost impossible now, though. She was right next to us. There's not a whole lot I can do. I just healed too late. Okay. Oh, well. We're not even going to get any points out of that now. That really sucks. The patroller was too unpredictable. It was not unpredictable. We could literally see her using the patroller, but I just canceled my bow. I should have just shot her. Patroller takes like 5 business years to come out. We're just losing these matches to just randoms. Literal randoms. But that's all. By the way, that's why I never touch the chair. With hunters like Clerk, as a hunter, you cannot possibly react to a survivor rescuing because it just takes too much. It's just too fast. It's too fast for human reflexes that you cannot react. Like, let's say they rescue you for 0.3 seconds and then get off. You could not have possibly seen that they would get off and stop your attack. Once you press the attack button and they reach a certain threshold of rescue, you just have to decide to go for it or not. And so rescuing with the fast swing hunters is a little bit luck-based. Like, I'm not mad that first officer got terror shock there, because that happens. You know, you're going to get unlucky. The Clerk has no idea when you're going to rescue. I have no idea when the hunter's going to swing. It's just a guessing game. The only times you can possibly know is if it's a slow swing hunter. And then there's no reason to get terror shock, because you can literally see when hunter is swinging. Is Mechanic that bad? Yes, Mechanic is that bad. She is a throwaway character. She's just a character to throw away so that you guys can save the better characters for later. That's her only purpose in tournaments. She does happen to be decent against the starting hunters. But when I say decent, it's with quotation marks, because you guys are still going for a tie. These hunters are so unkiteable that you rather just have characters like Mechanic who just die on chair and at least keep decoding. That's how strong the hunters are. Which should say something about how OP the hunters are and how they desperately need to get nerfed. But also should say something about Mechanic, that Mechanic is not a good survivor to actually win games with. If you are up against hunters that are so strong that it is better to die to pick a character that is not able to kite, obviously you want to try to kite, but realistically you're not going to be able to. It is better to pick a character that at least gets some guaranteed decode while you're on chair than trying to kite and then failing because the hunter's too strong. And then at least that way, you guys are still getting decode progress. And again, that should say something. But this kind of stuff is not explained in tournaments. The commentators might themselves be just as unknowledgeable on this. You might hear commentators being like, wow guys, Mechanic is rising up in the meta. Which is not wrong, but that's also not right. When you hear a commentator say something like that doesn't play the game, who doesn't understand how the flow of matches goes, what causes increased decode speed, what helps our team out, versus what hurts our team. And Mechanic is an example of someone that hurts our team, because she is more valuable dead than alive. And when it comes to hunters who are so strong at hunting that they just immediately kill anyone, at that point, it's fine to have Mechanic who's better dead than alive, because while she's dying on chair, she's still decoding for your team and being like a distraction for everyone else. Or she could just give Tinnitus, and then everyone else can still keep decoding. So hunters like Goman, who can easily cage away from across the map and try to pressure ciphers, now he cannot do that because he has Tinnitus on the chair constantly. So that's kind of the advantage. But again, it all depends. I actually don't know if we're gonna stun her in time. I actually don't think we do. Wow, this is so sad. She's gonna get stunned right after. That was so bad. We needed to shoot her in the heart, basically. And now we die to warp. Wow, we also get slowed down! Oh my god, so if you actually don't get... It doesn't really matter to dodge it because she's so far away that it literally does not matter. So she's anyway not going to catch up. So that's an example of the debuff actually hurting big time. So she does have Confined. That was expected. We're just going to immediately vault this, I think, and go left. Maybe we should have waited there. Maybe. You basically need to shoot her in the heart. I actually missed entirely. Oh, I missed entirely. Okay. We'll at least make it a long chair. That really sucks. Missed entirely. That was not a good kite. It was close to a good kite if I didn't miss that first shot. We didn't miss the first shot though. I did hit it. It just wasn't enough. It just literally wasn't enough. 50 takes so long. That's why someone here who said like, oh, Archer counters in. On paper, if she uses the jump. No one says she has to use the jump though. And that's a great example of why she doesn't necessarily counter in. It depends on the situation. They are rescuing way too late. Horrible flywheel. Is she even gonna make this now? I don't think so. Okay. I don't understand why we're rescuing so late. I mean, maybe she just came from really far away, but as far as I know, Dancer was literally at Big Boat. She was literally right next to me. Like right next to this chair when I went down. I don't understand, like, what are we doing? Oh. Today's gonna be a great day. At least the cheerleader stalled out the cat, so this is fine. We should be fine now, though. We're gonna die, obviously. But at least it'll ensure that we get a good free rescue here. I actually don't even have a way to dodge that cat. It just decided to sit right in front of the... It's because of the edge of the map. The edge of the map was there, so then the cat decides to stand still. But that was perfect that the cat just decided to stand there, because now there's no way to dodge it. Unfortunate. We should at least tie this game at the very least, but oh my goodness, these people. There's not a whole lot to do about that at that point. At that point, we just need these people to know what they're doing. And if they don't know to rescue early against N, then that's gonna happen. And then we got people who are gonna be like, oh, N is such a good hunter. She is a good hunter, but her camping is overrated, to be honest. If you go early enough, that is really the biggest killer to N, because especially if you follow it up with like a flywheel, if you bait the cats, and then she tries to swing at you right before the cats arrive, and you flywheel that hit, and then the cats arrive, and then you're getting the stun out. You have to get the stun out before the first hit happens on you. If you got hit before the stun happened, then at that point you're dead. Because Berserker plus that stun time will always be able to kill you. The second cat doesn't matter, though. The second cat doesn't matter at all, because the second cat usually doesn't matter. Because the second cat is only 0.5 seconds stun. So the most important one is that first one, and then the second one lasts almost nothing. You know, it just sucks, because, I mean, I feel like maybe we had a shot at a win there. Maybe. It really depends. It's not guaranteed. Like, maybe if I didn't have to immediately use my crossbow just to save myself from a balloon hit, maybe we would have that crossbow for later to do something with. I don't know. This is really rough, though. Too bad. Why do people hate playing rescue in rank? Maybe because rescuing is really hard. Maybe because people don't like to play rescue because it's boring. You would have to ask them. Don't ask me. I have thousands of games on Mercenary. And all other kinds of rescuers. So, don't ask me. Also, I never explained why Leo's Memory Shack is not that great of a spawn. So, I've already said this before. Maybe you've already known about it. I don't like the Shack kiting spot because there are some hunters where kiting at Shack is good, and there's other hunters where kiting at Shack is bad, like Geisha. Hunters where you need tall walls, like Waxers, you would want to be at Shack. Hunters like Geisha, you would not want to be at Shack. Shack is a very 50-50 area where either it's very good or it's really bad, I find. Especially hunters with like faster pallet breaking. Shack is just not in a very good situation on the map. It's not in a very good position of the map. It's mostly because of the map positioning, really. If Shack had good areas around it, then it would be fine to spawn at Shack, because then you could just go to the good area, and then you can easily get your way back to Shack. But the problem with spawning Shack is that either you stay at Shack and then you lose rotation time, which, by the way, that's like 15 seconds of doing nothing but just running. So obviously you don't want to give that up, so you run away from Shack. But the areas around Shack are not good, so you have to go to the far corners to a good area. But then once you go to the far corners, you're not getting back to Shack. And Shack is a good place to transition a kite into, because you just get that guaranteed pallet. That is really annoying for the hunter to deal with, for the hunter to break. It's good when you already have distance. It's not great to already start it, because it's such an important piece of the map to connect two sides of the map if you ever reach it. And so, once you use it early, you kind of force yourself into a corner, so the next time you get hit at that corner, you can't just go back to Shack, because you already used your pallet there. You could use the window, but the window is very easy to go around with those corners. So you see how when you go from the corner and you approach the window, the hunter's already on the side of Shack, so can already go left or right of the window. Compare that to the hospital window on Shack or the Arms Factory Shack window. The reason those windows are very good, even though it's the exact same building, those are very good because the window is perfectly in a straight line, or mostly in a straight line, with a different kiting area. So that when you approach it, the hunter is also approaching from the window side. Now they could go left or right, and they spend a long time going around it. As opposed to Leo's Memory, because of the way Leo's Memory is positioned away from the kiting area. So you got your kiting areas on the left and right of it. But the window is on the side over here. Which means you always have to spend extra time walking from the corner to that window, and it doesn't even matter because the hunter's already on the side. So you get some distance out of it, but it's easier to walk around it as a hunter because you're already on the edge of it, on the side of that window. And if you know anything about kiting, you will know that you should always try to prioritize kiting areas where when you approach a powder window, the hunter is on the other side of it. You don't want to drop the powder window when they're already... sorry, did I say... You want to drop a powder when they're already in front of it, right? When they're perfectly in front of it, because now when they go left or right, you can clearly see that you can react to and you won't get hit. But if you're on the edge of a pallet, if you're on the side of a pallet, sorry, not if you're on the side of the pallet. If you're at a pallet and the hunter's on the side of it, on the side of the wall already, where they can choose to go left or right of the pallet, at that point you're in a game-losing situation for your kite. Not game-losing, but a situation where you're going to get hit, pretty much, most of the time. That's why that window at Leo's Memory is very weak. Because most of the time, the hunter's going to be in a position where they can easily go left or right, see which side you vault, and then react to that and just hit you with an ability. Or sometimes even catch up to you if you're something like Percy or Geisha, which is what makes that area so dangerous against the wrong hunter. Some hunters can't do anything about that, though. So that's why it's better. Like Waxers. He can at most block the window. So I actually should have a Harpy right now. You guys see that red light? We're not even gonna be able to heal this man up. Am I gonna be able to heal him? Okay. Well. Now he's at half health. That was really scary. I was not predicting a blink. I was just vaulting it early, so maybe we can use the boost to jump away from the cat. That was a little bit lucky. I feel like that was a little bit lucky. Okay, maybe we can use the bow here. Oh, I missed. Okay. No! Is it me, or does the vault feel slightly slower for Archer? I feel like if I was playing Perfumer, that vault would not be that slow. I feel like I'm... Like, what is wrong? I don't understand why the vault feels so much slower for Archer. I've said this before. Maybe I'm just going crazy. It really feels like the vault is slightly slower for Archer. I don't know what it is. But something about it, man. I don't like it. I don't know why the vault feels so much slower on Archer. It doesn't say anything about slower vault. It feels like it's like a percent or 2%, 3% slower. It doesn't feel like it should be that slow. Why do the vaults feel so slow? I don't get it. We have Mechanic on the team. Great. Hopefully she'll finish that cipher. Wait, is she right next to me? Oh, okay. We're not finishing that cipher now. That's great. That's really bad. I don't understand. Look, I know that should have been a Terror Shock, but at the same time, why am I vaulting so slow? That should not be that slow. I'm telling you guys, I feel like Archer has a debuff vault and it doesn't say anything about it. Like, why is it that slow? It looks slow. It looks slower. Maybe I'm just used to muscle memory, which is the trait that buffs, what's it called? I mean, if you're not gonna use your cats, then we're just stalling this kite out. She probably thinks the cipher's already primed, actually, now that I think about it. So that's why she's not using her cats. She's probably waiting on her trait. I just have to tell him to focus on decoding. I don't want her to have her trait back. Okay. Avoid that. Oh, was that dropped? Or... I don't know why she waited there. Oh, she's waiting to get rid of the... No, we might live! The dungeon is here. That doesn't really do anything. Boost to the pallet! I can't vault it because I'm in an animation. Too bad. But we actually got that stun off. We actually got the stun off right in front of me. I guess if I missed, I would just use the regular crossbow, but I don't know if we would have time. I don't know if we would have time to use the crossbow because it takes animation time to actually shoot the crossbow, and I think she would hit us before I can actually use the crossbow. Okay, I feel like that was a better game. I don't understand, why does the vault feel slower for Archer? I swear it feels slower. For a different starter, it would not feel that slow. Come on. So I use Perfumer as an example, but everyone who doesn't have faster vaulting is going to be same speed as Perfumer. I don't understand, why does it feel longer? Time spent vaulting over windows at high speed, 0.87. It should be less than a second. Archer, I feel like it's longer than a second. So it says 0.87. It says 0.87 is the speed. I don't know what it is. It says it's the same speed. It says it's the same speed, but... what do I know? Maybe it is the same speed. Yeah. I've had multiple times now where I have done a vault like that and it was on the edge of a terror shock. Multiple times now. But I don't usually do vaults like that. I almost never do vaults like that because I know exactly how long I have to take a vault and how close Thunder needs to be. Usually, almost always, I will manage to vault when I know the time is right. And right there, I feel like Thunder's not close enough. I feel like I'm vaulting my usual distance that you will still safely make a vault. But, like, why does it feel slower? Why is Thunder managing to get a little bit closer than I'm expecting every single time we vault a window. Specifically windows. I don't know if it's like that with pallets. I haven't noticed anything with pallets. But these window vaults feel slower than a regular survivor. It's so strange. Another end with crazy blink. That was so blink predict. That was not a blink predict. I did that just so I could get a boost before the cat comes. And then maybe we can follow up with like a bow or something. Because if I sit in the corner there next to that pallet, eventually the cat's going to stun me and then we're going to take a hit there. It's not really... You shouldn't... Don't try to blink predict that full health, guys. Don't blink predict that full health. It's not a good idea. Does the Chinatown breakable windows have a different hitbox when Hunter attack compared to regular windows? Not as far as I know. It's the exact same thing. Hard to say though, I guess, because for Chinatown windows, almost no one ever swings through them to hit you. It's just easier to walk around them on almost every single breakable window. So I don't really see anyone trying to hit through, but I'm sure if they tried, it would be the exact same. Like when I've played as Hunter and I've done it, I've never felt anything different. Even slight changes, I don't feel anything different. It seems like the same windows. They just break after 4 vaults, Hunter or Survivor. Clerk recording doesn't count, by the way. If your clerk recording records itself vaulting a breakable window, that does not count as anyone vaulting it. It'll still say at the same number of vaults. So Hunter probably went after Lawyer. Hunter didn't come for us, so the other option is Lawyer. Okay, it's a nightmare. Normally I would laugh right now and say, oh my god, guys, it's a nightmare, I'm shaking. But we always lose to nightmare, so I don't say anything anymore about nightmare. I don't know. Last time I kited nightmare, it was Embalmer, and we won the game. And that was a no ability kite. Obviously, Embalmer has no abilities. We used the coffin. He had a teleport for the coffin, so it's not even like we're gaining distance from the coffin. That was basically worst case scenario for Hunter being able to deal with your coffin. So the wildling is going to try to harass, but the dash is like the perfect distance for Nightmare to catch up to a wildling pretty easily most of the time. With 0 presence, it's a lot harder, but with full presence, it's basically guaranteed to hit the wildling. Yeah, he still didn't manage to get it. Okay, we're going to do this cipher next. We have one more cipher left on this side of the map. Good news is that Acrobat also finished his cipher on the map. So now we should be able to freely choose which cipher we want to do. We're not going to get cipher locked on any side of the map. We got one cipher done here. We got one cipher done there. He's not going to make that rescue, though, because he got seen from far, unfortunately. It is going to be after half. Okay, well, hopefully we can at least tie this match. That is the downside of harassing with wildling, is that if you don't have your pig to make the rescue with later, you do risk Hunter just blocking you from far, and then you're not going to make the rescue now. It's not really like a nightmare specific thing, it's really for every Hunter. I don't understand the point of him still going though. I guess he, just in case a terror shock happens. Okay, maybe. I don't like this though, because it's probably not going to be that hard to knock down someone. Okay, never mind. He picks up the wildling early. But it also means he could just camp. And he knows where both people are. I bet you he's just going to teleport on this lawyer right as timer's about to run out. No, he's not. Okay. He's not. So the crow timer only lasts 20 seconds and it just ran out. This is really bad. Okay, he does just go for a hit instead of trying to do anything fancy. Okay, we needed that. Otherwise I would have died, I'm pretty sure. See, I don't know, man. The braking feels... The drop speed feels regular. Combined with horsefly effect, that seems like the speed it should be. Because it is plus 15% faster. So I know muscle memory also makes you evolve 15% faster, and you only get it every once in a while. It's not like Horse Life where it stays for every single pallet you drop as long as you were in the Hunter's terror radius long enough. This is a really bad situation. We don't have anyone to rescue this man. Blocking tonight, unfortunately, doesn't really do anything because he knows I'm here. Wow, he's actually trying it? Why is he trying it? Oh, now it means he could come to me for free because he knows someone else just popped us over on the other side of the map. I guess it was pretty long ago at this point. Okay, well, there goes this game. I don't think we have a shot anymore. If he goes after me, Wildling can at least pick himself up. Let's see, did they ever fix this thing where if Nightmare teleports on you, it'll teleport like in the pallet? Sometimes I do that. Sometimes that happens. I do want to see if they ever... Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You want to stand like right here, and then it'll teleport right behind you. Right inside the pallet. I want to see this. Okay. That time, no. That time it was right in... Maybe there was something I did. Maybe there was something I did. There's no point of using my crossbow, because if I use my crossbow, he jumps after me. Maybe jumping counts as increasing, though? Would it be enough, is the question. Because it'll put 60 on him, boost myself away, and then he needs to do 2 more jumps to catch up to me. So would that be enough to get 40 and stun him? Maybe? I guess I should have tried. Because it does... Let's say he walks towards me, then it's not enough. If he doesn't dash, as long as he doesn't dash and he just walks, he will be able to hit me. That's why I didn't do that. But I guess if he's dumb, not aware, I should say, and he just goes ahead and dashes on me, it'll significantly increase his movement speed, which significantly increases his laceration, which means he might get stunned. Yeah, losing against Nightmare. I know. Typical game. We're always losing against Nightmare. I'm not playing Mind's Eye now. Typical. No. Half health rescue. It feels like a quick match out here. Like, these are not ring matches. Guys, these are quick matches. When someone is rescuing at half health. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, not a great session so far. Again, I can't do a whole lot, guys. I mean, every once in a while, maybe I'll rescue someone from balloons, but if that puppeteer match where I rescued that person from Anne in balloons says anything, it means that there's no such thing as carrying your team in this game. Everyone has to do their part. Even the guy whose face we've never seen that game, who was that? We had Puppeteer who was supposed to do rescue and never did. There was me who rescued first chair and harassed and helped our survivor. The survivor actually kiting was doing his job. I don't know who the 4th survivor was because we never saw them, but their role is just as important as me saving that prisoner. Because if they're not doing the right ciphers in the right order, we are getting further behind on Deco than we should be, which means now we're not going to have the ciphers ready. I feel like they did a good job that game. Like, I didn't feel like there was really any like significant slowdown. Again, you could always argue that it could have been faster here or there, but also you have to play safe sometimes. And so it's like a battle of weighing safety versus decode speed, which is not easy. Knowing how to rotate while still maintaining fast decode speed in case you don't get chased is very important, and it's a hard skill to master. For some people, it looks like... I should leave that part out, sorry. But it is genuinely a hard skill to master, especially when you're learning, like, okay, how do I line up with rotating in the same way where if I don't get chased, I'm still next to a cyber machine. Like, that's not easy, to be fair. We should pick something. Unless I want to be lucky guy. But, anyway. Obviously, we are going to give hospital to Mechanic. I can't wait for Mechanic to not take hospital. Thank you. She did actually take hospital. I've seen composers without borrowed time just not take hospital. Isn't Nightmare considered a bad hunter? Yes, he is. Very bad. The worst in the game, probably. He has his moments where he's good with his crow. Teleporting across the map, but in that case, you just usually just don't do a gate and just wait out the tension. And if he doesn't find anyone, if he's not finding anyone, if he's not chasing anyone, or you just put like mercenary on the gate, and now if you teleport on mercenary just elbow pads away. First officer just turns into a watch. There's a lot of reasons why the Nightmare is not that great of a hunter, even when you put it on paper. Like, oh, but on most gates don't have anything to work with, right? Yeah, they don't, but doesn't change that there are lots of survivors that can still deal being out in the open. We want to go to this window next. This is another good window against wheel. So you want to fill up the windows like this. God, that was close. Okay. Interesting, he's already getting out of wheel. A little early. Okay, so he's going to confine that one and then go to this one, I'm guessing? Okay, we're just going to use the pallet. Maybe we can reach it without taking a wheel hit. That's the goal here of this swipe bomb. So I know that wipe bomb doesn't do anything, but it does help us reach this window. Oh, which actually saved us from a hit. He might speed up here. He predicted my prediction. That was really good. Okay, but I'm just going to do the exact same thing now. The goal is to just keep chaining windows. So even though he's blocking one, there's still the other one. He's also getting stuck on the birdcage, which is very nice for us. Silent vault. Yep, he got fooled by it. I'm thinking we go back. Yeah, because he's gonna go that side. And we're back. So far, pretty good Kai. Pretty good start. Oh, we have a boost. Okay. Hit me barely. Okay, well now we have to stall out the blink. Did you guys see how someone was at a cipher of like... Oh, that really sucks. I should have just committed to it, I think. Mechanic is at 58. Nice! Nice, guys. This is why we don't play Mechanic. It takes 5 years to move around her robot and all that stuff. And by the time she gets on a cipher, we should have already gotten 3 ciphers done. And that 4th cipher that she has progress on doesn't matter. Because we anyway have to wait for a 5th cipher machine. It's so bad. It's so bad. I hate it so much. I guess even the rescuer finished a cipher before she did. And she was at 60%, mind you. I have a feeling we're not going to win this game. A really bad feeling. Oh, damn it. Maybe she'll miss? Wait, she's not using the snap! Well, she got hit by the red anyway, so I guess now there is no snap. No. Okay, so he didn't use the snap, but that was valuable time that we bought. That was valuable time that we bought there. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Hopefully someone else is coming to rescue, which, again, should be easy on paper. So, like, guys, this is a great example of why Mechanic does nothing this game. She finished a 3rd and 4th cipher same time. Great! We still need to wait on the 5th cipher machine, so you finishing that cipher 2 times, 2 at the same time, does not matter at all. Because you decode so slow that by the time you finish the 3rd and 4th, we could have already had you working on a 4th one had you been a regular decoder. And the 5th one would be also well on its way. I just hate it. I think Mechanic is such a bad survivor. For decode. A decoder that sucks at decoding. It's just hilarious to think about. Flywheel effect and attachment. So forward doesn't even have borrow time. Just focus on. I would just pop it. Hopefully we make it. Yes, we do make it. He needs blink now. Which he already showed he doesn't have. He showed he has... We're going to do a little bit different route. This is a unique route that I never do, but this is a route you can take just to get away from the exit gate. Instead of going upstairs and risking him catching you with an ability, you could just go directly through between those walls, which continuously makes it hard for him to throw a trap on you. And by the time he is able to get line of sight on you, you're already vaulting the window and away from him. So a little bit of a different route that I usually never do. We could remove these spikes. It doesn't really matter if I'm being honest, because it's very easy for him to set up 2 new spikes. We're in a position where, you know, once we have 4 people escaping. Excuse me? Okay. Apparently I'm behind him, which really sucks. I don't know. Could we have... That was a little bit annoying. Wheel BS, what can I say? But, there we go. Really good kite. Really good kite, and I had to do extra. I had to do extra because we had unoptimal decoding. Because of that. I mean, it's so annoying for even our other teammates, because for our other teammates, you know how annoying it is when you don't have your mechanic on voice chat and you run into your guy's bot, because there's no way he can communicate 2 bodies at the same time unless he's switching between the robot and body so that the ping is showing up in 2 different spots on the minimap. It's so annoying, and then that slows down decode because our teammates don't know where you're planning to take that robot. I hate mechanic so much. She's so bad. Such a bad survivor. Not just so bad in rank. Again, in tournaments, use her because she has advantages against the top tier hunters. There's literally no hunter you have an advantage of as mechanic. You're not just putting yourself at a disadvantage, you're putting your whole team at a disadvantage because we are getting slower decode. It's harder to find out where your robot is, as opposed to if it was just one body. You could just ping your one body and we always know where you're going and where you are and where you want to go next. Because I'll be in games where I can clearly see where the mechanic is, and so I'm like, okay, mechanic is there, she's going to do that cipher next. But I still sometimes will not know where her robot is unless she then pings where her robot is while on the robot, and then I'm like, okay. So maybe robot will do that cipher next, or like what some cipher next. It's really annoying communicating with mechanics. Was the breaking wheel a little piggy? Well, I don't know what you mean. I'm not spawning shack, because this way if we spawn right here where I am right now, we can still make it to shack and we start our kite. We still get rotation time. We rotate into a good area. We're not forced to stand there if we spawn at shack. But if you leave shack, then it's very hard to get back to shack. So it's better to spawn to the side of shack. Also now, this benefits our other teammates because now they can do the exact same thing. You know that guy on the other side of the map that spawned opposite of me? He can do what I can do, and he can also just go to shack. And there's, best part about it, no one spawned there, so there's no worry of cutting on someone's ciphers. And also, you approach it, and you're using the pouch while you're at full health, so even if basement is there, doesn't matter, because there's no way you're going to get hit 2 times and die in basement. Even if you get hit at shack, you're not going to get hit fast enough to also die in basement. So, using the shed early enough, but also not forced to stand there and just waste distance. So he's in white form right now. We are going to try to miss another calibration here. Can I get another calibration? It's too risky. We're going to get off. You want to try to miss calibrations against Wu Cheng so that you can see where he is all the time. Dude, it sounds like he's right next to me with the way he's breathing. And I'm in a really bad kiting area. Though, the nice thing about White Wu Cheng is that you can see him swing early. So, most of the time, you will be able... Whew. I don't think that's a hit. No, I shouldn't have dropped that. I shouldn't have dropped that. That was a really big mistake. If I just didn't drop it, he wouldn't have hit me. And he has insolence too. Do we just die here now? Okay, we don't die. But if he has blink, we do die. That was so bad. That was literally so bad. Because now, he had blink, so it didn't really matter. If I just didn't take that first hit, I'm playing really bad today. It is what it is. Oh, at least we don't have mechanic, thank God. I saw a meteorologist. I saw someone with an M. I'm like, oh my God, we have another mechanic. And then no, it's just meteorologist. Oh man, I feel like when you play with crappy survivors, it then takes a toll on your mindset because then it's like whatever you do feels like it doesn't matter at that point. We have a knight with Tide Turner. So now he just, because he used Tide Turner instead of the shield, that's a great example of when Knight Tide is not good to run. Because now he just dies in basement. You needed to give yourself the shield so that whoever takes the hit will still survive. And then you can still keep predicting. Like that, that's it. I don't know why he ran backwards. I guess he thought the Hunter would go after me. But if he goes backwards, then he also has no way to escape. Hunter didn't chair him basement, though. Okay. Why didn't the Hunter chair him basement? Did he actually manage to die far enough away from basement? Okay, if he died far enough away from basement, then I guess it's fine. But that's a huge downside of running Knight Tide Turners. That Knight doesn't have an ability that's going to consistently get him out of a bad area. Obviously, basement, you have nothing to kite with. So you need some sort of ability to escape. And predicting when the Hunter's right next to you isn't that good. Isn't that good for two reasons. Because there's a survivor next to you, so your predictions are nerfed when survivors are nearby. And the other thing it does... Uh-oh. What is he doing? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That really sucks. I don't know what he's doing. Why was he standing there? Why didn't he run away? Dude. He could have at least hit his tracks so that Hunter doesn't like know you're there running back and forth. I don't know, I can't really say anything because I did also take that hit through the pallet. But I mean... Oh, and he got picked up too. Yeah, we gotta heal up at this point. Come here, boy. I'm assuming she's gonna use a cloud for one of us. Okay, she actually... I see why she doesn't, though. Because if she uses the cloud, it reveals our position. Which is not good against Wu Cheng to do, obviously. Who can pretty easily teleport on you. But I think this game is over. What even happened this game? I wish he just used the shield. Because that way, whoever he hits will survive. So he's forced to not hit anyone. But then, while we're making our way out of dungeon, once we make our way out of dungeon, or basement, I mean, you know what I mean. Then he can use predictions. Now that I'm by pallet areas, the predictions, even when nerfed, will make a difference. And then I can also use my bow to keep myself alive. And instead of being forced to use it in basement and then having no way to actually survive out of crappy cutting area, you can actually do something. Okay. 99% of the time he has blink here, so let us get away from there. No, can't shoot. The problem is, even if I shoot right now, it's not enough to escape the basement. So one of us can escape now, at least. So she'll probably escape. Although she does die to Bell here. There's not a whole lot she can do to the Bell. I feel like it would have been better to go for the window. But if she doesn't have window boost, then yeah, I guess it's not better to go for the window. That's why it's so important to have window boost, guys, because even any crappy window will now save you. Flywheel, if she has flywheel when she reaches a pallet, your life is not saved still. Because you're still at a crappy pallet with not a whole lot to do. Which is, besides just shorter cooldowns, you also get pallet boost, which is separate. I cannot express how important it is to run broken windows, guys. It is such an important trait. Very important trait. Unfortunately, didn't actually make that vault there, but it is very good. It is life-saving. Oh well. Again, another match. I could have played that better though. Not getting hit through that pallet. Because you know, the moment I don't play well, there's no way our teammates are gonna survive the match. It's so sad. Technically, it's still better than a random. Like, I guarantee you, some random would have kited worse than that. With how bad my kite was, my definition of bad is like random will manage to do like 10 times worse than that. It's like they're researching ways to find a way to make the kite worse. Like, you cannot make some of this stuff up. So if I was that knight, I would have used my shield. So that way, we both can safely make out a basement. But here's the thing, but Psyche, but then you waste shield with Tide Turner. I know, that's why it's bad to run Tide on Knight. Because you lose that versatility. It's not like Mercenary where you use Tide Turner and if Hunter goes after you, just elbow pad away. Knight, if the Hunter's right next to you, you can choose to predict like attack. But what if the hunter predicts ability? Well, then now your prediction went to waste. The way you play knight is you combine predictions with pallets and windows. So that way, once you're at a pallet or window, the hunter cannot basic hit you anymore. The only thing they can do is use their ability. That's where the predictions come in. You always predict ability in that case, and there's almost nothing they can do. That's why knight, when used properly, has a very good ability. But out in the open, when rescuing people, it doesn't do a whole lot. You have to use the shield to save yourself. Because the predictions out in the open, like sometimes you'll get lucky, but it's not consistent. The shield always is going to save your life for 8 seconds, where the hunter cannot hit you. It guarantees that the rescuer doesn't get double hit. Like in that situation, oh great, he has Tide Turner, but he got double hit, so he just goes on chart anyway. So in a situation like that, it would have been better to just... I am not spawning there. I'm not spawning there. No. I'll take your spawn though. But Graveyard. Graveyard is so much better of a kiting area than Corner House. Corner House has gotten nerfed so bad that a lot of people are not up to date, and they're like, oh, spawn between right there, like at Dancing Geisha where he was trying to get me to spawn. By those two crappy pallets right next to the Corner House. The problem with Corner House is that Corner House itself is not a very good kiting area. You can do long-term kites at Graveyard, but you cannot do long-term kites at Corner House. You only have one good pallet. There is a good pallet in the front, but there's nowhere to take that good pallet. And all around Corner House, it's really hard to follow up a good area, anything around Corner House. That's why Corner House is not that great, because you have no great follow-up. Everyone's like, oh, but Corner House pallet is so good. Great! How is one pallet going to do a 90-second kite for you? It's not. It's not. That's why it's not a very good area. But in this situation, this is very different. Because look at this. Now we're getting very good rotation time. Look at all these walls that Thunder's going to have to walk past. And I just go a straight line to the pallet. So this is a little bit different. I guess if there's tram in the way, then it reduces the value. But like, this is fine. So I look at the rotation value we got. Of course, I got slowed down for literally no reason. It's literally guaranteed. And she's just going to opt to leave me at this point. Because the rotation time already took so much of her time, combined with this really good pal that she's not able to get out of the way immediately. Now, she could get it out then, but when you already wasted like 25 seconds walking after a survivor, and then just now you're dealing with that pallet, and then they're going to go upstairs, you're going to drop down, they might use the window, you're going to get stunned by the archer when you fall down, they're going to go use that window boost over there to transition to the next area, so now your cats are still doing nothing. She's going to use that boost to get to the Geisha house, which then, again, a second floor, you can't use your cats. We had this whole kite planned out, basically. And being able to get that value rotation time is such an important start, because now we have just an extra 25 seconds to work with to just make that a lot better. So spawning Corner House or spawning near Corner House is an issue, because your resources are very limited here. You need to do some other stalling, use a different area before you go to Corner House, because by itself, if you start your kite there, it can be a little bit shaky. It's a good place to reset. It's not a good place to immediately use early on in your kite. Happens to be against Anne. It's even easier for us to drop the pallet, and since she just used her cast, there's not a whole lot she can do at that point. But it really depends on the situation. But most of the time, you don't want to be near Corner House, because if you use Corner House resources really early, then you're left with nothing but crappy resources later on. So with my route that I was saying earlier, we drop that pallet, we go up the stairs, we fall down that hole, we go in this direction, we use the window boost, we go over here. We're continuously taking the hunter into areas where her cats are not that good, combining it with our stun so that in the times where she would catch up, we stop her in her tracks. That's why Broken Windows is so valuable. That's also how you create a good route. You take it to areas, you take the kite to areas where the hunter struggles to use their ability well, where their ability is weak, where they're, against Anne specifically, heights and tall, not tall walls, but they can help sometimes, but long walls, where even if she goes around, she's not going to catch up with a jump. Those kinds of areas are very good. So that pallet has a long wall, followed by a height, followed by a drop down. We stun her at the drop down. We take this boost. She might have her cats back up, but by the time she will catch up, we will have a lot of distance combined from the window boost and the stun to then reach Geisha House. Geisha House, again, not a good kiting area. So here's the thing. We're slowly getting worse and worse kiting areas, but because of our rotation time early, it doesn't really matter if our kite ends early because of worse areas, because we stalled longer. I don't know. There's so much you can explain about spawns in this game. The good spawn will set you up for success. That forward spawn, again, I see people spawn there, and he was suggesting to spawn there. Look, it's not the worst spawn. There's just better options. Because graveyard, you want to be at graveyard, because graveyard, you can do an entire kite at graveyard. And you die away from your teammates. But if you spawn slightly away from graveyard towards corner house, you're pretty much locking yourself towards corner house, because there's no real great access from corner house to graveyard. So, unless you have a priestess on the team, and then you can just portal through the building. That's pretty good then. So if this hunter has warp... Ooh, it was out of range. Okay, hunter change target. Well, this is really bad. Hopefully dungeon is here. The other option is we could just stall out the tension. We do have graveyard window here that is very good, and she already used her warp. Or we could just get dungeon, which dungeon is the easiest way, but I'm assuming worst case scenario, which we don't get dungeon. But dungeon is also fun. But if we really had to, we do have a window boost. We have that annoying graveyard window, which is very annoying for Anne. We can shoot her in the ball sack, and then she'll slow herself down. She has to stand still or do something or get stunned, and then that'll also help us reach the gate. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can do there. The game was not even close to over. Dungeon just makes it a lot easier. But yeah, really, really good start. And guys, at that point when she switched onto Psychologist, it was already wraps for her, because she's now going after a survivor with 3 hits, and she's starting the chase late. Because she went after Archer transitioned away. It took her forever to try to find the Archer. I don't know what took her so long to find me, but even when the chase started, I guess she looked at the area, saw that she just used her cat. She's like, okay, I'm not getting this Archer anytime soon, and she decided to switch targets. So at that point, it was too late. You can rotate around corner house and get on tram with Weber's Law to go to graveyard. Great theory on paper. Is just where are you spawning though? Can you tell me where you spawn before I talk about this? Where would you spawn to make this idea work? Psyche, which Call of Abyss team do you think is going to open the most chests? What do you mean open the most chests? Oh, is there a question that's like how many red chests? You mean the red chests on the map? Check out Ellie's video. Oh, I forgot to announce Ellie's predictions at the start of the stream. Oh, shoot. By the way, guys, Ellie made a video on his channel, Elio. I guess I'll link it down right now. Check it out. He made a whole video on predictions. I frankly don't know anything of these things. He's more knowledgeable about the team. Stuff like the chess thing, anyone could get that one, but if you want to get good predictions, get them from Ellie. Ellie has been watching Call of Abyss competitive for literal years. I'm gonna leave his predictions in the description below. So watch that video. I'm gonna copy this predictions too. We'll show it at the end of the stream. Can you play Gardener? No, we're gonna be playing Archer today. Gardener is good. She's fine, but she's only gonna be good if we're gonna be going against Goman, Hula Baloo, and Shadow, which we are not gonna be going against any of those. She's fine against Dream Witch. Not Dream Witch. She's fine against what's it called? Opera Singer. Though she is good against Opera Singer, which we could go against. You can rotate around corner house and get on tram with Weber's Law to go to graveyard. So you're relying on Weber's Law to actually reach it? I don't like that. Because for starters, Flywheel is not that great of a trait to be running. Unless you're suggesting to run Broken Nose and then just take some points towards Weber's Law. It's an idea, but an idea I don't really like. Oh, thank you. He left the cipher for me. Thank you, so nice. Thank you, finally. Fasters who are leaving the ciphers for the faster decoders. I really appreciate that. Who is that? Oh, that's Feaster. Okay, it looks like he might need some help. Oh, that wasn't a good shot. Why did he swing there? Okay, he is going to get stunned here, no matter what. Unless he decided to already stand still. Okay, he didn't stand still, now he got stunned. So that's so crazy that my effect still carries on to the next person's kite. And now that's just extra time they can use to run away from the hunter while they're busy getting stunned. I'm going to drop this pallet just in case a teleport happens so we can get a boost up these stairs. Oh, and then we get hit by a tentacle when we vault that. So I guess we would have to drop down on that side, use a bow. Or we just go in a straight line and then go up the staircase there in the back. Okay. Against Feaster, we're not going to be able to use that, the jump rope here. Not the jump rope. The, what is this thing called? What is this thing? I don't understand what this thing is called. A swing. We're not going to be able to use the swing. It just doesn't look like a swing. Okay. To the left where I spawned that match. So you're saying, to go towards corner house, take that forward spawn, go in a circle around around corner house, and because Tram leaves 4 seconds after the match starts from the corner house gate to like right outside Geisha house, you're saying that we spend that time circling corner house, and then by the time we reach we go in a circle around corner house, we can reach the what's it called, the tram, and then we'll be able to take it towards a graveyard. But you're relying on Weber's Law. Okay, so I don't know how much distance that's gonna give you. Okay, I haven't tested it out. It's an interesting idea. It's a creative idea for sure. That might be worth a try in like a 1v1. It might be worth a try in like a 1v1. Oh, that's not a stun. Oh, is that even gonna rescue? Well, thankfully he just swung though. Oh, we're not in range. Problem is, even if I shoot right now, she's still trapped. Oh, there's a staircase right there. I guess she doesn't want to take the staircase though. Why is he backing off? Did he lose the target? Is there a tentacle behind me? Okay. I'm too worried that doesn't hit. I'm too worried of a tentacle being behind me to even go in a straight line and aim very precisely. Okay, so he's just gonna ditch. Flywheel effect and tide turner. Great. No borrow time. Dude, all this committal to make forward work, and you still can carry borrow time. This is why you don't. This is why you just don't play forward, honestly. All this committal to get like some okay support because it takes so much to make forward solid. Okay, it doesn't really matter if we get hit by a tentacle here, as long as. Oh, that one actually missed. I don't want to rescue before the tentacle gets used though. That wasn't really necessary. Oh, great. Okay. That was a really bad pop. All he had to do was run away from the tentacle and force a basic hit, and he's never going to get hit. Oh, he can, because he has no borrowed time. Oh, that's nice. Right, never mind. He can, because he has no borrowed time. Yeah, so he's forced to do that kind of pop, and you know, I guess it was the best case scenario. Dude has 0% football. I don't like it. I don't like it. Borrow time puts you in a... No borrow time puts you in a really awkward spot. I thought she was about to die there, so I was trying to spawn the tentacle away from me. Because if you're running, the tentacle spawns wherever you're facing. If you're decoding or opening a gate, it spawns on top of you. So you can actually make it spawn away from you. And now you don't have to get slower decode speed on the gate, I guess. Yeah. Why did the hunter swing? I don't know. Maybe he thought I was in range. Come on, robot! He actually hit the robot. Okay. It would be nice if you made a guide for the Darkwoods map. Kiting routes, yeah. There's a lot of stuff you can do. A lot of it, again, just like with all maps, a lot of it is going to be based on broken windows, because broken windows will give you the access to the good cutting areas. The thing about your Persona builds is they're not really meant to counter abilities by the hunter. They're meant to take you to good cutting areas. So Flywheel can't do that. Flywheel is all in on trying to counter abilities in this game, but with how expensive that is to do, 120-second cooldown for one use of it, and the hunter gets their ability back like every 14 seconds. It's not that good. It's much better to take a cheaper cooldown ability and just use it to stall. And take it to good areas where they also can't use their ability. Prevention is better than counters, usually. Flywheel may counter 100% Naiad, but it will not save you if you're still in a bad area. And then you're just gonna take another 100. Miki stream, Mind's Eye plus Mechanic. Skeletor, I really appreciate it, man, but if you said, like, green Mind's Eye Mechanic, I might consider it. I'm not gonna do Mind's Eye Mechanic with Miki. Is Flywheel better against Ivy? Yes, it is. It is better against Ivy. So there are a couple hunters where it is better. But we're talking like 4 hunters here out of 30. You should not be carrying Flywheel to counter 4 hunters. And even the hunters that Flywheel is good against, Broken Windows is still also good against. But meanwhile, Flywheel, there are going to be hunters where it's just absolutely never good. Clerk, for example. I would never want Flywheel against Clerk. Every once in a while, she'll mess up, not play around it, and it might save you for longer than 5 seconds. But no, don't carry Flywheel. To counter the few hunters, and plus Ivy is getting banned, so. Unless you don't ban Ivy, I guess. If you don't ban Ivy, then yeah, you can carry Flywheel. You know, I still wouldn't recommend it. I think in tournaments, when you know who your opponent is, and the hunter's always going to go some top tier hunter, Flywheel gets more value. Flywheel's more valuable against something like Gomen and Shadow, which are going to be hunters you will see in tournaments, but in rank, we're not only banning those hunters, but even if you don't ban them, hunter could just go something else. You don't know who you're facing. Some hunters just, you know, there's a top tier hunter, just don't pick it. You know, Opera Singer. Realistically, everyone should be going Opera Singer. Oh, I hope the server's not blocked. Okay, it is blocked, unfortunately. It is 100% blocked. Because if Shaq isn't blocked, then that one is 100% blocked. Okay. And you cannot connect to block Cyber Machine as prisoner, so we know that one is also not blocked. Okay. Oh, by the way, that ever-sleeping tram idea, I'll have to try it. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm just worried that it's not going to work against every hunter. Because if you don't know who your hunter is in a rank match, that is a very risky thing to do. Like, you're starting your kite and you're committing to a kite where you don't know if it's going to work out. Especially with Corner House, when you start your kite at Corner House, I guess you'll probably see who the hunter is before you turn the corner at Corner House. So then you could be like, okay, is this hunter that I'll reach tram against? Yes or no? If the tram leaves immediately as soon as you get on it, I think that's a really good idea. I think you're cooking something. But if it stands there for a couple seconds, hunter will just walk past tram, go straight to graveyard. And because the tram from Geisha House, from the Dancing Geisha to graveyard is so slow, they're usually going to get a free hit on you before you can even do anything. I'm on the fence about it. I'll have to try it out. I think there is potential there, though. It's just the way you say Weber's Law. For starters, you should not carry Flywheel. It's not good against most hunters. You could carry Broken Windows with committing to Weber's Law and using all your points on Weber's Law. That means you don't get the companion effect, which is the speed bonus off of chair, and that is so important to rebound. I don't think it's worth it, unfortunately. %. If you can make it without Weber's Law, okay, there we go. Now we got a deal. But if you, like, absolutely need Weber's Law, unless you're a survivor that carries Flywheel default, like Antiquarian, you're not going to carry Weber's Law, because Weber's Law is expensive to carry. It takes a lot of points. You rather have it on stuff like Brewing Effect, which we are, by the way, running as we're rotating around the map, or against hunters that are pressuring Cybers very well. That 10% built-up decode adds a lot over time. Or, you know, Companion Effect to help you rebound your kite. In the case you were the one getting chased and you are desperately trying to get a rebound going to help your teammates have the Cyber's Prime. You know, that's really important stuff that I just don't feel Weber's Law is good enough for. Especially because you can't control when it happens. Saki, you know support Fired? I don't know who Fired is. Who's Fired? I don't know what you mean by Fired. I don't know if we're gonna get the shot. Hunter's moving around. When a hunter's moving from left to right, it's really hard. Yeah, we didn't get it. Okay. Is he really gonna go all the way around the corner? Oh, we barely didn't hold for long enough. It actually canceled! How did that not stun him? We didn't get the 60 on him. I literally pressed the button. Wow. Okay, that should have stunned him. I don't understand that. So it seems like there's a delay? Like you can cancel it even while it's happening? Look, it cost me my crossbow. That literally cost me my crossbow. We should have stunned him. Dude, what is this, like, garbage game mechanics? What, was he not in range? He was literally in my face. Was he behind a wall? I don't think so. Why did that not count as putting 60 on him immediately? We should have made that rescue. Why did you not support the first player? Because Akai was too bad. On top of that, you're going to give him presence, and that hot wax is a very key thing to kill chases very quickly and kill rescues very easily. It happens to be there that we should have countered that. Is just, why is it not activating? Why did it not activate? We literally shot 60 at him before he stunned me. And that's because we literally used the ability. You can literally tell because we used the ability. I feel like we got BS'd by the game there. What is that? Like, why does it take? You're telling me that it's not immediate, that the moment you press the ability, you don't immediately put 60 on them? What was that? That was like how many milliseconds away from actually getting the 60 on them? Waxers does not eat your shots. Your English is a little bit wonky, but I'm assuming you're telling me that it canceled because using your abilities cancels your ability in the middle of using it. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what it did. But why does it do that? Why? It's an instant ability. We immediately are applying 60. At least that's what I thought. It's not like it... Even the regular bow, it has no travel time. It basically teleports into the hunter's chest. So we learned right there that the crossbow is apparently not immediate. That it needs travel time, apparently. It needs a second to actually... It's based off of your character's animation, I guess? Because we did that. We shot. We shot. It's not a matter of did we shoot. We definitely shot. It's a matter of did our animation fully finish. This makes no sense in the real world if you already shot and then you stunned someone or killed them. Like, if you shot your bullet when someone already shot theirs at each other, you both die. You both get hit by it. It doesn't make any sense. We shot before we got 100. So even if we both shot at the same time, which I shot before him, his wax was flying in the air. Why is mine not coming out? Why is mine not stunning him? You can report it for the IDV so they can look this moment for fixed mechanic. Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, that's not happening. They're not gonna do that. Unless it's a bug. If it's a bug, maybe. I doubt it's a bug. Usually this kind of stuff, I don't think they would change. Maybe they just really didn't intend it, though. Okay, this is nice. This is the spawn that I was expecting to see last game from the Hunter, but they spawned at Graveyard, which means we get a very good rotation time to Corner House. In this case, you don't get as good rotation time to Graveyard. But this is still pretty good. This is still pretty fine. Because I know that Graveyard Wall is going to block you. You don't really want to automatically use your Window Vault so early in the kite. Because that Window Boost is very important. But you still have a very good area to work with now. Against basically every Hunter. Walling no borrowed time is meta. They're just running Flywheel in case they have to use their pig first. So they have a way to escape. Oh, Great. The no heartbeat actually really made a difference there. No! Well, at least it's not a terror shock. Unfortunately, it's Gamekeeper, which is like the one hunter who will really suffocate this whole strategy. Please don't be in range. Whew. I was ready for that to just go through the wall. There we go. Read him like a book. I don't like this though. This is still not good. I'm pretty sure he can hook me right here. No, we got stunned there. No! We're still in a really bad area. Oh, we died at blink. At least we get the trade out. We'll tie this game. With how bad that start of the Kai was, this is actually a pretty good outcome. With how bad the start was, us taking an immediate hit and still getting blink out there, this is actually a pretty good start. So we'll at least get a tie. The basement doesn't really matter because we're not going to win this game no matter what. If anything, this is good because I hope this dissuades our teammates from rescuing now. Because they really shouldn't rescue in this situation anyway, even if I wasn't in basement. Okay, I know, but as I say that... Oh, he canceled the hook, so the cooldown is on... The hook is on cooldown right now. I don't think that... I don't know why he's wasting his time. He's already on a cooldown. Dude, they are committing so hard for... What? I'm always getting hit here. Okay. It means that no one is decoding now. And I still don't think we're going to be able to rebound this. Like, how do we rebound this? Ooh, close. He's going to get stunned. Take advantage of this wall. Great. Now we have someone in basement. Oh, if the hunter is smart, he'll pick him up and put him in basement. That's also pretty smart, because now I actually can't leave this area. So now he's camping essentially both wilding and keeping an eye on me. I may not have a heartbeat, but I know the hunter's right there next to that wall. I don't really think that was... I would disagree with committing so hard to rescuing me and trying to help me rebound. I did end up rebounding. But then the wilding then also getting on his pick to try to push is overcommittal at that point, because then a hook plus basic will kill him. Huge overcommittal, I would say, from him. So you know what? Good job on them for helping me rebound there. Even though the hunter could have just swung way sooner. Like, you guys saw, there was multiple times where that hunter could have swung at me. I was just out in the open. I was ready to take that hit. He wasn't taking it, and then that allowed those survivors to help me out. So, an average hunter should normally be hitting immediately there. Like, a typical hunter who is not taking any risk should be hitting there. I guess he wasn't expecting all those people to be there in support, which, you know what, if I was the hunter, I wouldn't expect that either, but I don't know what he's waiting for. I guess he was waiting for, like, a no recovery hit on the stairs, but if the rescue's smart, they just stay inside of, like... I guess they stay inside a basement, but then if they stay inside a basement, then Wildlings don't have a way to escape. I guess it really... I don't know, that's tough. That's actually tough. Problems with Wildling 101. You don't have any way to actually escape off of a rescue after you finish rescuing. Unless you didn't use your pig. Okay, well, both of our servers are ready. Somebody tells me there's a trap at that window. Unless it's already canceled. Maybe... I don't know if the chair is close enough to cancel the trap. Okay, so the wildling doesn't have borrow time, which thankfully didn't really matter. No, we're still in a lot of trouble, though. He chairs the person who's not dead on chair. Oh, but wildling didn't really hide his tracks very well. Oh, now he's walking. I think that was a little too late, though. Come on, Tram. Oh, maybe. Maybe! Maybe! No. Great, thank you. I really needed this wheat barrel to be there. Dude, these random obstacles that prevented me from going all the way back actually made a difference there. Oh man. Oh, they didn't work on the gate. I guess I'm not dead. You know. There's always that. Okay, maybe. Maybe it's not over. Maybe we get lucky. Oh no, the hunter's on the wildling. How did the wildling get seen of all people? He was literally all the way out of the way of the gate. No, don't go for it. I don't know how he of all people got found. How did he of all people get found? I guess the hunter just took a random direction and got lucky, you know? It happens. Too bad. Too bad. Oh well. I don't even know what the record is today. What is it? Actually 5 wins, 4 ties, or did I forget some matches? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some of these days, man, I don't even feel like playing ranked, to be honest. Like, the average player. I don't think it's anything... Look, if the gamekeeper just swung immediately, then them committing so hard... Look, Wildling has to come to rescue, I guess, at that point. I wouldn't rescue if I was him, but he came to rescue, okay. So it's just him at that point, right? But the meteorologist gets over Sever, tries to help me. And that's costing us decode. That's going to make this game a lot easier for the hunter to win, as long as he just hit me immediately. Which he didn't hit me immediately, so then it allowed me to rebound, thankfully, because he didn't hit me for some reason. And there was so much committal there, no guarantee of me even being able to come out of that basement unscathed, unhit, and... Like, really risky strategies. Like, basement, gamekeeper, he's still going for it. It's Wildling. Wildling actually did manage to pull off a good rescue there, even canceled the hook, but then after that, the harass was really bad because the gamekeeper wants him to harass, because then the next time he pushes him, hook, basic hit. It's that simple, because he already got hooked before. I do have more wins, yeah, you're right. How does Psyche go solo and not go insane? If I have to solo, I just don't play rank. Is the real answer. Unless it's stream day, then I do. Then I do solo. I don't feel like we've been playing that bad. I don't think I've been playing that bad for us to deserve 6 losses and 4 ties. Oh well. We have mechanic. That's great. Thank you for making the sacrifice for the stream. You're welcome. Now you guys don't have to solo rank. Sagi, you should join the Potatoes group. They play all the time. Who is the Potatoes group? The funniest thing was hearing Psyche say, "Don't go for it," to the Wildling in the softest voice he ever spoke. When did I say that? When did I say that? When I vaulted the window and I was really safe, I had a window bonus. I was in a really good spot, and then he did he get on his fig and then decided to start pushing when he was chip injured. Oh. It's like the curse of being a player who's played for this long is you see bad stuff happen before they happen. And it's out of your control. That's the worst part. That is the worst part. Is that you see someone doing something that they're gonna regret and there's nothing you can do about it to stop. That's the really sad part. Like 15 seconds ago at the chair? 15 seconds ago. You mean 15 seconds ago in the stream? I don't think I said that. It's the group with John Tito and Blue. Well, Blue Race Car plays Archer, so I'm not going to be able to play Archer. They're definitely way better than a random, but... right now, me and Blue are playing the same character. Also, I'm a champion. So Blue would not be able to play with John. I would only be able to play with one of them. So I wouldn't even be able to play with the whole Potatoes group, just one person, you know? Oh! We can do something. Okay, go. Look at all these walls blocking his way so he can't even dash at her. I hope she'll be fine now. We might have to check on her again. Because it's not the safest situation to be in. Oh, God damn, I was hoping he would go more to the left. That was really bad. Now we didn't even get the 50 out of that. Weren't you part of Potatoes years ago? I was, but that was a tournament team. That's something entirely different. The Potatoes group is not like a tournament team like it once was. It also had other people who I also... Like, it had Mumu. Okay, Mumu was one of the best survivors of all time. And also, Blue and John were mostly Hunter mains, you know? They did play Survivor, but they're mostly known for their Hunter. He's just immediately gonna go for it. Ugh! Well, I got hit. A little downside of having to look backwards. Hopefully she'll survive long enough. Oh, something tells me she's not. If she survives long enough, he does get stunned. Like right now, even if she takes a chip hit, she'll survive. So it's okay to take one chip hit. The Cypher's done. Where's our last Cypher? Where's our last Cypher? Our last Cypher only has 0%? Was the kite that bad? I feel like that kite wasn't that bad. I feel like we should have more than this. Is Mechanic to blame, guys? Oops. Sorry. Right as I'm in the middle of saying something. Is Mechanic to blame for this decode loss? I bet you it was. Because she's walking around with her bots setting it up at gate. And this is what I hate. The Mechanic game sense. It's not just the Mechanic sucks, but you need years of experience as Survivor. Not Mechanic experience, just Survivor experience to know when is the right time to be moving around your robot or not. And she was wasting our time moving around that robot. Now we might not even get this last Cypher ready for even a tie. Like right now, if he teleports and I die by the Cypher, it's GG. Just gotta watch the boulder. The boulder has, you can react to it. I was just bad the first time. And what, it only lasts like 15 seconds or something? I forgot how long it lasts. I don't know. I absolutely hate Mechanic. Not just because her stats suck, but a lot of people do not have good game sense for Mechanic. Like that was an example of like, why are we moving around the robot? Why are we not prioritizing our Survivor who's still alive? Oh, that's it. I think we lost. She hit the chair. He hit the chair. He hit the chair. Okay, there's a shot. Okay. I mean, it's cool and all. We opened the gates sooner. I guess it eliminates the risk of me getting teleported on. I don't know. Like, was it that important to get this gate 20 seconds open sooner? We still have people who could get teleported on even though the gate is open. Maybe we should check the decoding progress of the stars. I'm not going to check the decoding progress. I already know what happens. The Mechanic is moving around both her robot and her main body a lot. And that's what's costing us a lot of decode time. You have to have good game sense. And not just knowing how to play Mechanic with the robot, when to drop it, when Where to drop it, but also when to walk around with it, because walking takes decode time away. Shouldn't you be running Flywheel and Archer since you can't use your ability from far? Well, 11 meters is incredibly far away. That's considered far, Scab. How far does it have to be for you to use your ability? How far does it have to be for you to consider far? Or not far? What am I even trying to say here? Archer's ability is far. I don't understand. Archer's ability is far. It goes far. It doesn't really have to do with your ability, though. It has to do with, are you going to be harassing in a way where I guess we might be harassing, so Flywheel might be helpful. I just feel like we're out of range. You could run Flywheel Archer. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. It just, usually, most of the time, we're already so far away that we're going to have a lot of time to just walk to powder a window and get the boost value out of it. I think it is really important. Broken Windows is such a good ability, though. We're not playing Mind's Eye with Broken Flywheel. Never. 11 meters isn't that far. That's 1/3 of the Hunter's terror radius. Homie, that's 1/3 of the Hunter's terror radius. You're telling me that's not far? Archer's ability is kind of like a Flywheel, guys. Guys, it has nothing to do with your abilities like Flywheel or not. We're not looking for replaceable abilities so that you have an excuse to run Flywheel or not. That's not why we run Flywheel. We don't run Flywheel Composer because Composer has built-in speed buff. That's not how it works. Because Flywheel has to give value against the Hunters. It has nothing to do with your Survivor build. It has to do with who the Hunter you are up against. That's how bad Flywheel is. That it depends fully on your Hunter. In very few Survivors, it matters. The only Survivors it matters from The only Survivor it matters from Flywheel on is the Survivors that are the aggressors, the Survivors that are running towards the Hunter. In any situation where you are far away and the Hunter has to follow you and you don't have to follow them, or if you do have to follow them, like with Archer, then we're still really far away where you don't have to follow them that much, then we are the ones choosing our kiting ability area. We are the ones choosing where to take the route. And we are the ones that can then follow it up with like a very important Broken Windows boost into an area that is very good. Flywheel is for if you have to be the aggressor, if you have to follow the Survivor around, and if they die in a crappy area, then you're going to need some way to survive in that crappy area, and that's where Flywheel comes in. And so for those harassers that have to get really up close and personal, like Anti-Korean, like Forward, sometimes Batter, because Batter's ball does take time to travel, so you have to get a little bit closer if you want to reliably hit them with the ball. Archer's bow doesn't take any time to travel, but you can still run Flywheel because you could harass with Archer. I don't find that you're ever close enough to ever need Flywheel. Like every single time we've been kiting or harassing, especially kiting, because if you're kiting, you especially want brokenness because you're the one taking the route. You're controlling where the Hunter goes. You're the one being like, okay, let's transition to this area. The Hunter has to follow me if they want to chase me. And you are the one controlling where the flow of the game goes. But if you're a harasser, you are the one following the Survivor. And that's what Flywheel is based off of as a Survivor. But more importantly, it's more important to base it off a Hunter because even Survivors like Forward and Anti-Korean in tournaments will tell each other, hey, don't run Flywheel because this is going to be a Hunter where we never get value with Flywheel. Even harassers will not run Flywheel because it's too Hunter dependent. On average in rank mode, it's good enough to be effective against most Hunters. But if you're confident in like a tournament setting, that Flywheel is almost never going to get value or it's just too hard to get value out of, to the point where even if you do like get the Hunter to miss a swing, it's usually not that hard to immediately hit you again afterwards. Those are the Hunters where they tell you don't even take Flywheel. So that should be the biggest evidence that Flywheel is based off of Hunters. That has nothing to do with your Survivor. That even in tournaments, you will see Anti-Korean Forwards with Broken Windows because it's just that Hunter dependent to run Flywheel. Now, of course, if you don't know who your opponent is in rank, you're going to run Flywheel if you're a harasser. But it has nothing to do with your abilities. If your ability is getting a speed buff like Composer, then even though you have speed buff built in, you should still have Broken Windows because the Broken Windows help you get your next speed buff. It helps you reach more areas. It gives you more reach. You can follow up a Broken Windows boost from Shaq get halfway towards hospital, and then you cut the other halfway using your composer speed. You wouldn't be able to do that with flywheel. You would vault the window at shack. If you want to go hospital, you would immediately have to use your speed up to actually even reach the pallet outside hospital, and then you still have no way to get into hospital because you already used your speed buff. You can have more versatility with the speed buff, besides just stalling, helping you get your next ability. It has more to do with your plan, your role as a survivor on the team. If your abilities allow you to be at a far range to the point where flywheel is not really ever going to help you because you're already far enough away, then you don't have to carry flywheel. Again, you could run flywheel because every once in a while it might help you, but I don't think it's going to help enough times, and the amount of hunters where flywheel doesn't do good against is not worth it for me. Again, Archer is one of those in-between characters where I'm going to say, sure, you can run flywheel because she does fall in the harasser category, and her role as a harasser is to get up close and personal with these hunters and be the aggressor, be the one following the hunter, regardless of wherever they go, no matter how far in the open it is. You can be the aggressor. I just don't find it's that necessary with how far away you are most of the time when you're shooting your shots. Besides that, remember, you're also stunning the hunter. So when you shoot the shot and then the hunter goes after you, that's fine because you already stunned them for 2.5 seconds. You also gain distance from that. Don't forget, it's not just the survivor you're helping. Unlike forward, who has to sacrifice himself from like being next to the hunter when a stun happens, Archer gets that full value stun and she's still very far away. Which is a key difference to distinguish between Archer and forward. That's close. Now that is considered close. When you have to get up close and stun the hunter, and you're literally sacrificing yourself to be right next to the hunter and get that stun off. But not with Archer. You didn't have to sacrifice anything, which is what makes her so much stronger than forward. YouTube, what is going on? Welcome. All right, guys, we're going to look at Ellie's predictions, guys, and we're going to talk about the predictions for the upcoming Call of Abyss tournament. I think you guys still got a couple days left, but Call of Abyss does start. It says Call of Abyss 7. Call of Abyss 8 starts in 3 days. So predictions might close in 2 days, maybe even faster than that. So make sure you guys get your predictions in before Wednesday at the very least. I have a feeling you're going to close Wednesday maintenance time. So we're going to watch Elio's video on getting the, the predictions right. And the last time I got predictions from Ellie, he was over 50% correct, which I think is better than what most people get. Again, he knows what he's talking about. He's very familiar. Again, every once in a while, something could happen where, maybe there's an upset in the teams who win because you can't predict everything. But overall, he knows what he's talking about. He knows who the good teams are. Let's go ahead and watch Ellie's predictions. And there you go. So we're going to copy these predictions. But also, the link is in the description for you guys to also check out the video, and I would highly recommend it. But for now, we're just gonna go from what he says, and definitely check it out. The link is in the description below. So first things first, if you want to get golden apples, he's probably talking about it right now. But if you want to get golden apples, just subscribe. Click subscribe for the events right here. I already subscribed, but if you subscribe to 12 matches, you get 200 apples for each. So just click subscribe. All it means is you're gonna get notifications when the match starts, which is probably going to be like 3 a.m. your time if you're in America, which is, you're not even going to be awake for that. Looks like, okay, no, it's fine. So we're going to see what he predicted first. So the first thing Ellie predicts is advancing team predictions. How do you even make predictions? Where did my sound go, by the way? My sound died. Okay, no, there is sound. It's just not playing anything. So group stage. This is for group stage. He is predicting TE is first, Axewave is second, or Axis as I like to call him. Dow 5, the team whose symbol looks like a battery. Next one is ITZY, and the last one is AWG. And I'm sure he has his reasonings. And I would highly recommend if you guys want to learn about competitive and who you want to cheer for, or who is the better survivors or hunters, definitely check out Ellie. He knows all about this kind of stuff. I know I was the commentator last year, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't know any of the players. The only one I remember to this day is actually Dream, just because of Dream the YouTuber, not actually because of Dream the player. Anyway, I just thought it was funny that there was a hunter named Dream. So anyway, We have GG first, RC second, Wolves third. I'm assuming that if Ellie were to talk about this bracket, he would probably be saying that this is a very tough to predict bracket. Because I'll tell you guys right now, these are all, from my experience watching Call of This, these are all very good Survivor teams, and also mostly from what Ellie says, I'm not going to lie. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hunter Aka. We have GG, and for each one you get right, out of the 1 through 5, you get 600 apples, of course. So try to get as many right as possible. For Group B, we have GG as first. GG, obviously one of the strongest teams. We have them listed as first here. RC, very, very good with the Hunter Aka, who is very strong. We have them in second here. Wolves at 3. Sky at 4th. And unfortunately for NAU, in this situation, we do have Omni at 5th. This is a very difficult bracket. I unfortunately don't think Omni has much chance going into this one. As much as I'd like to see NAU do well, they did get placed in a very challenging group. So it's going to be definitely an uphill battle for them. Going into Group C here, we have Zeta at first.
Very difficult bracket. Obviously, you look at the teams. So if you know anything about the teams, you will know how strong they are. RC, GG, and Wolves. GG has literally won an entire Call of Abyss. RC, I can't remember if they're Japanese, but I think Zeta is the one who anyway wins all the Japanese ones. But anyway, Wolves, of course, Wolves has also won a Call of Abyss championship. And so it's really hard to rank these teams, honestly, at this point. Any one of them could be a winner. Besides Omni, you can pretty confidently put them at 5th place. But the rest, I actually don't know about the 4th place team. I don't know anything about Sky, but I'm just going to go off of what Ellie says. This is why we have him here today. Thank you, Ellie. Ellie could not show up onto stream today, by the way, because he's on a plane, probably going towards China, if I had to guess, or Thailand. One of those things, Thailand, I mean. Anyway. Zeta is first, MRC second, Act third. So Zeta always be winning the Japanese tournaments. They're Japanese, right? Someone correct me in the chat if they're not. But Zeta, literally every single year in the summer, there's IJL, I think. IJL is the Japan League. It happens sometime in summer when it's warm outside. That's how I remember when they play, because that's my favorite season, when it's warm outside, really hot. Insects are not a big deal for me. So it's how I remember them, because it's in a place where it's a memorable point of the year for me. So Zeta, every single year in NAU, we get like an event where you can like do a quiz on the winning team, and every single year it's Zeta. I think they have one in the summer and they have one in the fall and maybe sometimes in winter or spring, but they always be winning. There's literally, you go through the quiz and it's only about Zeta. It's like, where are the other teams? It's because the other teams aren't winning. It's always Zeta winning.
Zeta at first in a... Let's
see what he has
we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Third time's a charm. Very strong team. Let's see what they can do. We have them at number 1 here. MRC at second. ACT at 3 here. RD at 4. And then getting into...
So it looks like he's talking about right there that he's always predicting Zeta to be first. But he has been right so far. So we'll see if he'll be finally right this time. Okay, I see why it's disappearing, so I gotta keep my mouse on it. Okay, so the next team is going to be GR, FL. GR has literally won Call of This like 3 times, I could have sworn. RVL, he's gonna put RVL at 3rd, which is actually, I would say, look, me not knowing any of these teams, I would say that's super generous, but maybe Ellie already knows that these teams already play worse than RVL. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, we don't really see RVL play rank. They practice a lot. I've talked with Green, and Green is on RVL, and they are practicing quite a bit. But I always assume they're practicing during Call of This. The question is, do they practice outside the year? Because I don't really see them play rank. A couple of them play rank of the RVL members, but I think ranked is just something that you cannot gain in a tournament, which is the awareness of being ready for any play the hunter could possibly do. You know, Spencer's a very good hunter, don't get me wrong. He's obviously going to be doing the best plays. But something that Spencer cannot give his Survivor team is just the unexpected surprise factor of like a hunter that they never go against, maybe like a Percy. That, you know, Percy's not a hard hunter to kite, but if you haven't faced him in a long time, you might be, a little bit rusty. And that could make an impact if you go against something like, for example, Mad Eyes. Again, a hunter who I would say is not that hard to deal with, but he is very hard to deal with if you're out of the loop with what to do against him. Your reflexes are a little bit slow. Anyway, looks like he's going to say the most used survivor in Call of This is going to be First Officer. I think that's a reasonable pick. First Officer, because remember, we want to be picking survivors that are not just going to be commonly picked, but also not going to be banned all the time. So First Officer is kind of like that in between where he's good enough to get picked by survivors, but also not good enough for the Hunter to constantly ban him. Mercenary nowadays is struggling with the meta. So with Opera Singer, Shadow, he's good if he's fine against Shadow, but you have to use your elbow pad immediately when you get Tombstoned on. Otherwise, you will get caught by the full presence and die to 100 eyeball. So you just have to assume she's already going to do. You can't even wait for it and react. Hula Blue, obviously going to be the #1 pick. Maybe some hunters are not going to pick Hula Blue round 1, and then round 2, round 3, Hula Blue is always going to get banned by the survivor side. That could happen. I could see that happening. So Miki, I told Miki that, and he decided on Goman, because I did tell him if they don't go Goman, if they don't go Hula Blue, then they're going to go Goman. And so I could see Goman being the highest. In a world where hunters decide to save whatever hunter they go, because remember, whatever hunter picks gets perma-banned. So if you pick Goman, Goman is now banned for round 2 and round 3. Permabans now also apply to Hunter. So survivors also still get their own ban. So they could ban, they already have auto ban Goman because the Hunter played Goman, and then they could pick Hula Blue, and then Hula Blue will just never get played. So I am thinking we are in a world where it's possible for Goman to be the highest pick, but Hula Blue is just also so strong that there's nothing stopping the hunters from just going Hula Blue round 1. So I'm assuming that every hunter is going to go round 1. That's what Ellie is assuming, because if you don't go Hula Blue round 1, it's probably going to get permabanned round 2 and round 3. So if enough teams decide to not go Hula Blue for some reason round 1, then yeah, you could see other hunters being the most used. But for the most part, you are going to see Hula Blue most likely the highest. I think he might be saying something about Goman. Let's actually listen to what Ellie has to say about this.
This one's so you definitely choose one of them.
He might think this is really easy, and that's perfectly
next
fine
we have
too.
Hula Blue. This one's pretty obvious. I think hands down Hula Blue will be the most used hunter.
Okay.
Currently, Hula Blue is the best hunter in the game. It's the most common round 1 hunter. We will see Hula Blue get used round 1 pretty much every single time, no matter what. Once in a while, you might see Goatman, but it's unlikely. Maybe Ivy once in a while, but Hula Blue should be the most used hunter. In COA. This is a pretty easy guess, I would say.
So he says it's very easy. So again, it is possible, because remember, in round 1, survivors get no bans. You can go whatever hunter you want. Every hunter's on the table round 1. That's why Ellie is saying that if you can just go any hunter you want, they're going to go what he believes is the best hunter. I also believe this is the best hunter, Hula Blue. But it is possible that some hunters may have a strategy where their strategy is to leave Hula Blue off the table, and now the stars are forced to always ban Hula Blue because Hula Blue will not be perma-banned. So they have to keep banning Hula Blue. And that could be the world where we don't see Hula Blue as the most used hunter in Call of Abyss. For the most part, I think he's right about this. I don't think there's going to be enough hunters that don't go Hula Blue round 1 for that to be possible to happen.
But this is probably with the highest average deduction points. Kazuneko is always a very
So this is at this point a crapshoot. Anyone could get this in my opinion. But he is just picking out a very popular, not very popular, maybe not necessarily popular, but a very good hunter. These are hunters we're talking about. So that was Kazuneko KZNK from Team Zeta. The next one is, oh no, this is a survivor. Never mind. So I guess they have predictions for each. So he's going to say that Akka is going to be the highest. So again, I feel like this could be anyone. He's probably just going based off the highest performing hunters and the highest performing survivors. Because if you perform the highest, you can obviously get the highest deduction. The game has balanced its like point system, the deduction system, to be rewarding those who survive the longest, because you get so many points in chase and using your abilities in chase. But you don't really get anything if you're the one going down quickly, if you're the first chase target. So I'm sure Ellie's also thinking about who's the rescuer, because rescuers are the ones who stay alive the longest, because they're not really chase targets. Anyway, we're now going on to clubs. Looks like I missed a little bit here. We missed 1 out of 3. So he's going to go with team with the longest average match time, RC. I don't know why. I could tell you about the survivors and the hunters and why he's picking them, but I cannot tell you guys anything about the team. That's why I recommend Ellie, because I don't know anything about these teams. I can tell you a lot about how the game works and why you might not see Hula Blue as the first one in case somehow that happens. Again, Ellie's going to say it's pretty easily Hula Blue. I would probably still go Hula Blue because, you can't predict. Like, I could sit here all day and be like, oh, but it could be this, it could be that. And yeah, I'm right about that. But at the same time, I have to make a choice. So you could sit here all day and be like, oh, yeah, but it might be Goman, and it doesn't really matter because you still have to choose one. Anyway, so he's going to go with GG with 3. The order is RC, GG, GG. If you don't care to read the question at all, let's make this a little bit bigger. Most used map in Call of Abyss. Okay, this we could talk about a little bit. Why is Eversleeping the most used map? Or why he thinks it'll be the most used map? Which he does also. Let's listen to Ellie.
Kind of a toss up between for most chess openings, and then for map, this one's kind of a toss up between Eversleeping, Moonlit, or Chinatown. I'm going Eversleeping.
Like he's in between.
We could easily go something like Chinatown here as well, if you really wanted to. This is again just kind of a coin toss. Yeah, this could go either way. Probably Chinatown might even be better. I don't know. Chinatown, Eversleeping, up to you guys on that one, and which one you want to go with. Also, Moonlit's a pretty good guess as well.
So,
and
why Chinatown? Why Eversleeping? Why also Moonlit? So Chinatown and Eversleeping, these are probably some of the hardest maps to kite on raw. And that might sound really strange. Like, what do you mean raw, Psyche? What do you mean kiting raw? It means kiting with just your abilities. Usually when I say raw, I mean no abilities. But in the sense of a tournament, there is going to be teamwork happening a lot between the survivors. Because when they combine their abilities together, they make something really exceptional, really strong, really broken. When they combine that. But it's really hard to work together. It is really hard. And anyone who's worked before with people, you know how hard it is to work with people. Being able to be on not just get along, but also just be on the same wavelength of just thinking like your teammates. And that takes practice. That takes practice to learning how they think. And not just as simple as just thinking. Like, I know how to think. Yeah, but do you know how to think like your teammate? And that's something that is really hard to find in people. This, on the other hand, how it relates to maps is in tournaments, we are picking the maps that are the hardest to kite on because it means those teams that cannot find a way to work together, they crumble and they fall apart. But those teams that find a way to help their teammates, even though the air kiting areas suck, they can still get away with their teammates' supports. And that's why you see Eversleeping in Chinatown so much, because they're so hard to raw kite on that you cannot just be like, okay, you got this, man. We're just going to sit here and decode 3 ciphers. And you just got the whole kite to yourself. And that's why you never see Hospital. Because what happens is every single team is just going to be like, all right, you go to Hospital, you know the routes, you know exactly where to go. That's why Hospital is so stupid for hunters. Because any survivor who's good at the game will almost always find a way to get into Hospital and just win the game. Just like how I was Acrobat. How many times did we go into Hospital? We went into Hospital like 5 times. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's literally what it's like to play Call of Abyss Hunter against top tier survivors who know what they're doing, who know the routes. It's stupid, but that's why Hospital is my favorite map, because there's nothing that shows your raw skill like just being able to kite by yourself and knowing the routes, because a lot of people surprisingly don't know the routes. On Eversleeping, routes don't help you as much, because even if you know the routes, the kiting areas are not that good to work with. The route is obviously designed to be the best thing you can work with, but it's usually not going to be good enough. Besides Graveyard. Graveyard you can genuinely just kite by yourself on. It's very similar to Hospital in that way. But we see Chinatown, we see Eversleeping, because these are the maps that are hardest to solo kite on. They're going to require teamwork. Those teams that cannot do teamwork are going to fall apart, and they're going to fall off early on in the bracket. And that's kind of why Ellie is ranking Omni as the lowest, because the freshest teams are going to be the ones that are going to be the hardest to work together with. They're not going to be able to work together, and these are going to be the most common maps that they need to work on with together, and they're going to crumble and fall apart. But this could also be why he put B4U higher, because B4U is a very highly established team. They've been playing together for years, so even though they may not play as often, all the modes, I feel like they should play rank more often. You might not think that. Maybe the coach doesn't think that. You can disagree with that. But you cannot deny that they've been working together for so long. They know how they think, essentially. And so that's why he probably put B4U or Rivals, whatever you want to call them, higher up. Again, Chinatown is another one.
Wrap it up for the predict.
Chinatown is another one that you can see. But he also mentioned Moonlit there. And Moonlit is a little bit awkward because Moonlit you can definitely solo kite on if you spawn at Fort Stop or just rely on Roller Coaster. And then the most teamwork your team has to do is like press a button, which is not a whole lot. You can literally do that in rank. It's not that hard to do. But why Moonlit specifically? Because Moonlit is Hula Baloo's best map. So if you want to have... So in this current meta, even though on paper Moonlit is actually pretty good to solo kite on, it is not practical to solo kite right now if it's Hula Baloo. So I'm expecting a lot of round 1 Moonlit, round 1 Hula Baloo. Hula Baloo's best map is Moonlit because I can jump over the river. Geisha can do that, but it's much more expensive for her as opposed to Hula Baloo, who has 2 extra jumps saved up at full presence. Even he has 3 and he just needs to use 1 and his extreme distance he basically has 2 more dashes after that too to get even more distance off if he wants to. That's why Hula Blue's best map is literally Moonlit. And that's why Ellie was also saying Moonlit, Ever Sleeping Chinatown are your options for the maps. I would still probably go with Ever Sleeping in Chinatown because after Hula Blue gets picked, you know, they still have to go other maps. So that's why you could see either Chinatown or Ever Sleeping at that point. So at this point, these maps are kind of guaranteed. Anyway, that's Ellie's predictions. That's everything you can predict. That was actually pretty quick. 30 minutes, guys. Not that long, right? For me, it was pretty short. But anyway, there is one more prediction. And I don't know if Ellie's going to make a video on this, but right here, if we go back to my screen, we've made the group stage predictions. This is, for those that don't know, there's always a group stage where even if you lose against a team, you can still play against 3 other teams. That's what the group thing is. You know, let's say you're playing as Omni, right? And you up against Sky and you lose against Sky. That's okay. You guys are not out. You can still play against Wolves. You can still play against RC. Still play against GG. You go in a round robin. You play against every single team in your group pretty much. I'm assuming it's going to be the same system as last year where if you are the 5th place though, you do not move on to the bracket stage, which is the next part. This is the, actually this might not be the bracket stage. Looks like this is still about the group stage, I'm assuming. Your selection will be saved. You can make changes until 4/10. So this, I don't know if this is going to be the whole tournament or is it just going to be the group stage. Either way, it doesn't really matter because whether it's a bracket or group doesn't really matter. Your choice here. I'm just curious. But anyway, you can win up to 12,000 in the group stage. Probably one of the harder things to get right, honestly. In the group stage is the exact order of the team, but you have a better chance than stuff like contestants. Like what the hell? Like glove? Like these are really, you know, crapshoot things. You can definitely predict characters, and you could even predict the map reliably, I would say. But I don't think you can reliably predict these kinds of stuff. So don't expect to be getting these right. Although he is picking based off of what are the best teams. And the best teams are going to be obviously getting the best results, and those results are going to be what is going to be used to get the predictions. But really, there's a lot of great teams here. He's just going off of, you know, history probably, and also how they play. You could get a lot of apples here, though. There's a couple of groups where they're hard, yes, but there's also a couple of groups where it's like, okay, obviously this team's going to get first or something like that, right? Like, I'm assuming that for this case, it was pretty easy to say GR gets first. I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe this is actually really hard. But I can tell you right now, something like Group B, there's a lot of really good teams here besides Omni, no offense, that are going to be potentially competing for first, for second, for third. I mean, hell, this whole bracket could be swapped around besides 5th place. So, also, I don't know if you can get predictions from other people. There are assist predictions here, but again, if you know these commentators and they are very knowledgeable on the game, definitely pick up these guys' predictions if you want as well. I'm not going to pick them because I don't know which of these are. Because for some people who don't know how the commentating scene works, there are the reaction commentators and there are the analyzer commentators. And you don't have to pick one. You could switch between both as long as there's a flow between you and your commentator and you guys can swap between those roles. There's always got to be someone who reacts to the moment and there's always got to be someone who looks back and analyzes the moment. Obviously, the analyzers probably know a little bit more about the game in the teams, I would say, because they're the ones going to be doing the heavy explaining and knowing what to do. So if you know who the analyzers are out of these, I cannot read any of their names, so maybe you recognize their faces though, and you know who's the analyzer, and you're like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about, or something like that. But for you to know for you to be able to judge if you know what they're talking about, you'd have to be a good player yourself, unfortunately. Like I can tell you right now, like a commentator like what's his name? What is the grandpa commentator of the English? What is his name? I forgot. Nello Mello. Nello Mello is a very entertaining commentator, but he doesn't play Identity 5 as often as like Ellie or Analyzer, or look at why things work the way they do. And so that's why we're trusting Ellie and not like someone like Nello Mello, because Nello Mello is more like reaction, and he doesn't really play the game to be able to tell you, oh yes, this character is very good because of so and so and so this. And being able to make predictions and being able to explain without just saying, oh yeah, because they keep using it a lot. That's not really a good explanation. That's not a good explanation to be like, oh yeah, they use it a lot, so it must be good, right? because then you get huge flaws in your logic. Like, oh yeah, so in this case, it must be good to play mechanic in rank, right? No, because of specific reasons, like the hunters we're up against and the banning system makes it so that it is not that good to go mechanic in rank, because we're banning those hunters that mechanic is good against. So there we go. Those are the predictions. Hope you guys enjoy that. That was my explanation. I guess my explanation was a lot longer than Ellie's. His video was 6 minutes, but he's also just trying to get you guys the predictions. Okay, my man's got plans. He's got a trip to China he's got to take and commentate. I don't know if it's to China or Thailand, but anyway, that's what you can do. I would highly suggest Ellie's predictions. And again, literally everything he said, it's either I don't know or I totally agree with what he's saying. I can tell you why he's thinking that. There is no thing as like, oh yeah, because other people use it a lot. Ellie has explanations for like why you see this the way they are. You know, some teams, there's also probably going to be moments where he's going to be being like, okay, well, this team likes to use this a lot or do this a lot. And stuff like predicting character points, you kind of have to go off of history at that point. But for stuff that you can actually do in the game and play yourself and learn about, there's more to it than just being like, oh yeah, everyone plays this, so they must play this, right? So anyway, that's going to be it for today's stream. That's going to be the predictions. I guess I'll put it in the title of the stream. COA predictions, end of stream, plus top survivor rank. And I'll just delete the archer part. All right. Definitely would suggest checking out Ellie's predictions. Once again, are in the description on his video. Give it a like so that other people can also find that video. That's what liking does. Comment. Be like, hey, Ellie, I saw you from Psyche. This is really helpful. Because, again, I highly recommend Ellie to you guys. I've always used his predictions, and he knows what he's talking about. And I've gotten always at least, I think I've gotten 10,000 apples from a single prediction from him. Just in total, I think the highest I've gotten was, I can't remember. I think it was over 12,000, which was the last Call of Abyss. Which, that's a lot of apples, guys. That's 1/4 of your way to the next accessory in just one event, which is pretty good. So, yeah. Dude. Alright, let me read the chat. I haven't opened the chat in a while. Psyche, will you open your essences someday? Will I open my essences someday? Well, I really should have opened my rank essences from last season, but I just never have. At this point, I don't even know what... How far back have I been forgetting to open my essences? I have season 35 that I need to open. I have season 34 that I still haven't opened. I used to, like, at the end of every season, open these. And then I would save one essence from each season. So I think the oldest one I have is season 21 when I started doing this. I did accidentally open, like, one instead of saving some. So, like, season 24, 25, 26, I don't have. Season 28, I don't have because I accidentally opened the last one. So you got 34. I need to open the 34, 35, and 36 seasons and then just leave one over. We'll do that eventually. Look at that. That's a lot of essences. I don't even know what accessory this is. What is accessory is this? It's wheel for season 36. What was season 35? It was first officer. That's still in the shop. Oh, you guys are always in the shop. And this is feature. I thought that was Dream Witch. So that's like the pickup animation, I assume. That's where the pickup animation comes from. Okay. We'll open them one day, you know. Just one day. Wait. So someone asked a question about the chest thing? Was there a question about chests in the end? Was there actually anything? Exchange, match predictions. There we go. Was there anything about chest? Team with longest average match time, team with most escapes through dungeon, team with most chest openings. There actually is. You know what? I'm really curious. Let's hear Ellie's logic for this, or is he just going to be as stumped as me? Like, what the hell? Who's opening chests? You do open chests in tournaments. There are times to open them, but not a lot. It's pretty hard to find a time to open a chest.
The favored teams to go all the way to the finals. They
I
can
do want to
easily
watch this.
secure a lot of dungeon escapes throughout the tournament. Team with the most chest openings as well, GG. They love to do item swap plays. Again, they'll be playing more matches than most teams since they'll have the best chance of going far into the bracket in the playoffs.
You see?
So we're going to go GG here.
So like something like that. Something like that is a strategy you can do. But not every team does that. Like, I know about that strategy. It's just, for rank, it's kind of hard to coordinate that. It was more popular back then. Back when switching items didn't reduce how many items you have. Like, guys, did you know that if you swap your elbow pads and give it to Mechanic, it goes from 3 elbow pads to 2 because Mechanic is holding it? And I'm pretty sure if the mechanic gives it back to the mercenary, then he's also at 2. I actually don't know that for sure. But it just does remove items. It used to be that back then, mercenary had 5 elbow pads, and when you give it to mechanic, she would keep all 5. And so there was strategy, and then you give the controller to the mercenary, and because mercenary didn't, like whoever was holding the controller didn't impact the decode speed, there was a mercenary with a robot decoding 25% faster with it. Back then, that's how fast the robot used to decode back then. And it didn't matter who was holding it. Like right now, it matters that mechanic has to be holding, because mechanic gives the bot 10% faster decode when she's doing controlling it. But back then, that was not the case. It just decoded 25% faster for all survivors. So I almost wonder if they did that nerf just to say something about the mechanic strategy that you'd see in tournaments sometimes. Because back then, mechanic was an S-tier survivor with decode speed like that. Whether or not she was on chair, whether or not she was dead or alive, she was decoding insanely fast. That's why mechanic is in her state now. Problem is now, she's worth more dead than alive, and dead is not really that helpful. Dead is like a last-ditch effort, like a last resort. You know, at that point, you guys are going to get a tie. But even if mechanic is alive now, it's really hard to win games. Nowadays, you just have to break the robot. You don't even chase her now. She's just ruining your team now because her decode is so bad and her robot doesn't last long enough. Nor does it decode much for the time you have it. So, I would say that's gonna be it for today's for today's stream. Those are gonna be your predictions for today. And yes, there was a chest opening question, funny enough. So yeah, GG likes to do chest swaps. There's your logic. I wouldn't have known that. That's a thing you can do in the game, but I have no idea which team would be more or less likely to do that. Could be they won't do it at all. Who knows? But it seems like Ellie knows what he's talking about. It seems like this is based off of history. So, again, 100% suggest go with what Ellie says. Because, dude, he's been watching these tournaments for literal years. And I cannot sit through a single one. I cannot sit through a single matchup. And those last like 2 hours. It's just a 2-hour matchup. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for joining today's stream. That's going to be it for today's stream. Hopefully we have a better session in the future. Although the archer shots, I would say, are getting better. Couple misses here and there, but when you compare it to like a couple streams ago, how many shots was I stunning versus how many shots were not stunning? I'm getting more shots that are stun, you know, not just 50 but also stunning. So more shots that are stunning, and you know the shots. I think I've missed more shots entirely this stream than even hitting it. It's better to at least hit it, obviously, but you know. Eventually you'll work on a balance with it, and hopefully I'll be getting those shots super consistently. And yeah, I mean, so far I'm already impressing myself with like, man, I'm getting a lot of these shots that I'm scared are not gonna hit. So yeah, all right guys, why are tournaments so long? There's a lot of maintenance and like behind the scenes stuff between matchups. That's why. So especially for a live tournament, you have players who are getting off the stage. You have to get your next Survivor team ready, prepared onto the stage. Maybe they want to talk about something before they get on the stage, so then that might slow them down. You also get to have the hunter on the stage. In offline settings where you actually have people going on stages, I could definitely see why it takes longer. And then they have to sit down, make sure their games work, make sure that all the games are being recorded. That's how you're getting those different viewpoints, because they're all recording their games. I don't know how they managed to separate all that gameplay and change it live, but it's broadcaster stuff. Whoever's in charge of the cameras back there, you have to connect all that stuff. You probably have to swap accounts, because I imagine it would be harder. I don't know what they do actually. Do they just log off the account and keep the device the same? Or does each player have their own like device that they're going to play on, and they have to bring their device and connect it up together? You know, that could take a lot of time, so... Yeah. As for online tournaments, as in tournaments that happen on the game, known as meeting face to face, like in NAU, like unofficial tournaments or even official tournaments, we're not on some stage. This is all like we're all at home playing, you know, through the internet. Those still have extremely long delays. That I cannot explain. For that, I can't explain. There has to just be very strong maintenance from the team to be like pushing like, okay, move on, or you're going to be disqualified and so on and so forth. And it really there's a real push for teams to ready up as soon as possible, join as soon as possible, because there is no waiting. You just have to go. And that's how you manage to get matches out faster. And I'm not even talking about the banning phase. The banning phase is always going to take a lot of time. I'm just talking about what are we doing while the commentators are just sitting there talking to the camera. Like, because we all know, guys, Call of Abyss, you'll be watching Call of Abyss, and there might be like 10, 15, even 20 minutes where the Call of Abyss commentators, after a match ended, are just talking to the camera. It's just the camera's always on them. And like, what are we doing? When are we getting back to the players? So that kind of stuff. I have been a commentator. They tell me stuff behind the scenes who is like you cannot hear on the stream, but we can hear them, who are saying like, okay, there's some problems in the back, so keep stalling it out, and they will literally tell you to keep stalling it out. It's not some coincidence. They literally tell you to stall it out. The commentators don't control when you move on to the next scene. They do. Whoever's they. I don't know. It sounds really spooky when I said that way. They. The commentators are all under the will of they. There's just this voice in their head that no one else can hear but the commentators, and they're known as they. Beware of they. They will fire you if you talk about them ideally. Okay. Well, anyway. I'm going to be wrapping that up today for real this time. Psyche, you should react to Call of Duty Finals. That'd be really interesting. I don't think so. I already said I hate watching predictions. This is going to be me. This is going to be me. The whole time. I'm going to be like, guys, this is so interesting, guys. Wow, look at this. Look at that. Of course, I'm actually going to find a way to talk about it. And it's not gonna be that boring. But inside, I'm like, man, inside I'm dying. I'm trying to watch this and talk about it because this is all stuff I already know. But like teaching it and stuff like that would be fun, right, guys? I just don't want to watch it, pretty much. Can't believe they let out the greatest yapper, Psyche. Yeah, too bad. No more Psyche comments here, but we'll always have the memories of while they were actually happening. That was great. When the chat complains if nothing happens for 5 minutes, 5 minutes is reasonable. Knowing that's because when you think about what I just said, like getting off the stage, getting on the stage, connecting to devices, making sure your account is good, making sure your ping is good, and you know, that kind of stuff. That's not mentioning a team that pauses the match, and now the match is restarting, or now we're waiting for the pause to like get it over with, you know. And then as soon as they pause, it's just immediately back on the commentators, and like the commentators are like, oh. So guys, the match is going great so far for the Hunter side. And you know, it's kind of funny because we don't, once that happens, when a match pauses like that, the commentators are immediately like we gotta get ready because we were like watching like the match, commentating, and then oh, pause. Yeah guys, so that was crazy. I guess there's some problem with the team, you know. I'm not really sure what's happening. I mean, we're gonna be waiting. I'm sure we'll get a word out soon, you know. Podge, can you take over? Like that kind of thing, you know. That's how it usually goes. Psyche, what's your room layout? This is my room layout. We got a overexpensive rug, 12,000 clues. We got this thing, which I think was like what, a couple thousand. We got this rug, which I think was worth 1,000. This thing, overexpensive fireplace, like it's an A tier, so 3,888 or something like that. This cheap rug, very, very economy. Love the economy. We got this thing that I bought because I thought it looked cool, and also it fits perfectly here. I never go down here though. We got a random couch here. This phonograph, you actually, I forgot where you get this. Do you have to buy this? I think you get this from owning the aquarium room. I don't even think it's a phonograph that belongs to this room. So yeah, you can mix and match room equipment that you get from the other rooms for free. As long as you have that room, that is. This overexpensive piece of garbage, that was 12,000. This I got for free, this poster from like a character day thing. Like, I forgot. Not a character day thing, but you know, when they were deduction star voting costumes, I think. This bookshelf that I can't remember what that is. This overexpensive piano, that's 12,000. That thing, same thing. It's a poster from character voting. This penguin, I don't know if you can still buy it. It makes music. A tier, 3,888 probably. This is a firecracker thing from Lunar New Year, 3,888. This overexpensive bench, 12,888 clues. This, I'm pretty sure, is A tier. You can play Reversi on this. The leaf is pretty cool. I think that was pretty cheap. This thing, I can't remember how much this costs. I think this is cost an A tier. I think this is an A tier, 3,888 probably. This overexpensive pawn that I never look at, 12,000. This A tier firecracker, firework thing machine, 3,888. This bench, 3,888. It's an A tier. This rug, it's a B tier. You can buy pretty cheap for like 1,000. This, I'm pretty sure is an A tier. This, I think you get this for free. Memory wall. This I got from a crossover, I think it was. I don't even remember where this is from. And these bushes that you can buy. I think these are C tier, so you can get them for like 400 or 500. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, and this thing. I forgot about this. Yeah, I don't think this is an A tier. Let's see. Actually, is this an A tier? What is this, guys? Does anyone know what this is? I don't want to move it. Is this an A tier? It's probably still in the shop. You can probably still buy it in the shop. I think the Arnold and Puppets things are always in the shop. Yeah, so we got it here. I did buy the Bonbon thing that I didn't even place down. Oh, you can... Oh, no, you can't. I just have it. I just have it owned. So some of these things you can't buy already. This was 1,000. Yeah, I was right about that. Where's the Arnold and Puppets thing that I bought? Can you not buy it anymore? Well, no. Even if you couldn't buy it, it would still show up here. Why is it not showing up? Oh, maybe you can't buy it. Maybe it was just from the crossover. You had to get it while the crossover was going on. I mean, I remember you could buy the Bonbon Kitty thing. I don't really know, guys. Don't really know what's going on here. But hey, we have enough clues to buy another overexpensive piece of furniture. Oh, do we have enough clues to buy both? Oh, sure. Oh no, we can buy two of them? Does this just hang off the ceiling? Alright, we're buying it. I'll probably remember about it in a couple years from now and be like, oh yeah, this thing that I never placed. You can actually buy the toilet? Oh, we can't buy it now. It's okay. What? There's another thing you can buy? Uh-oh. Dude, where's the Arnold and Puppets thing? Oh, there's some Arnold and Puppets decorations here. Maybe you can buy one of these. What even is this stuff? Oh, this is where the ghost ship comes. Okay. Yeah, guys, I don't... Oh, you can still buy the fireworks. Oh, never mind. So yeah, I don't really know. This was a fun stream, guys. Reunion dinner? Still here? I thought these Lunar New Year things would just be for Lunar New Year. I guess not. So I don't really know where this is from. It's just here. I thought it looked pretty cool. Hey, it looks pretty dope, right, guys? Whoa. Okay. I hope I didn't change something. Alright, guys. That's the room. A lot of overexpensive stuff. Best way to put it. This thing, why is this worth 11,000? It's worth 11,000, but I think they're like 11,888, so it's basically 12,000. Well, how much was it? It was 11,600. It's basically 12,000. Alright, guys. If you enjoyed this stream, be sure to check out more streams just like this one in the near future, every Monday and Thursday. Oh, God. From 20 to 22 EST time zone. Yes, the swing is two-person. Thank you for mentioning that. Very important detail, guys. The swing is two-person. In a room where I'm always alone, it's very important to know that this swing is two-person. Now you know. How would you have known? I'm never in this room with anyone else. Alright, guys. If you like the stream, be sure to check out more streams just like this as the stream goes by. Anyway, guys, I will see you later. Take care. This has been Psyche. Peace out, everybody. Peace. I don't know if the person here is still watching, but I guess we'll place the swing. Someone is asking how big is the swing. Yo, does anyone know where the swing is? Oh, there you go. It actually did. It actually did something. Wow, that's a big swing. That's here. Let's put it side by side with this one. All right, guys. How big is the swing? You know, it's decently sized, guys. It's decently sized. You know, I'm sure it'll fit in the poor people rooms, right, guys? Right? I'm sure it will. Anyway, that's the swing size. I feel like I'm in a universe size comparison video. Like we're comparing different size universes that you won't be able to comprehend anyway. All right, guys. That's actually it. Thank you for watching. That's the swing. Hope you're interested in viewing a swing, I guess. All right, see you guys. Bye-bye.